Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mike Millan, Poised Hipster on Instagram. You're listening to C10 Talk.
Truck Talk Media.
And I look at him and I say, hey, man, you keep saying leukemia. Like, what does that mean? Are you saying I have leukemia? And he's like, yes, that's what I'm telling you. And I said, well, how sure are you? And he's like, well, we're like 99% sure. I said, well, there's still 1%. There's still a 1% that I don't. So, like, let's just bank on that. What do I need to do?
Damn, son. Hey, guys, I've got David Odegaard, Product Manager, United Pacific Industries. David, what's the latest?
You know, one of our hottest items is the side mirrors with the directionals built into them, the LED arrow. You know, these look cool. They look original. And however, when you're driving at night and you're changing lanes, that guy that sits in your blind spot, we all know who he is. He'll see that you're indicating and you're coming over. And there's a great safety factor with these mirrors, and they look cool too.
Blind spot guy, we don't want you there, but the United Pacific side mirrors, they work great. I have them on Orange Slice. I love them. How about the guys that are looking to go long bed to short bed? What are you guys offering them?
Yeah, we have all the parts for the 67 to 72 bed, you know, new bed floors or whatever you may need, a new bedside, or that bed front that's always been smashed in by 50 years of stuff being, you know, hauled in the bed.
Yeah, these trucks have been worked so hard over the years. We love that about our trucks, but you might have a floor that's dinged up. You need some parts. United Pacific's got it for you. What else are you guys working on?
Later this summer, we're going to have the front parking lights for the square bodies, 73 to 80. These are full LED. They've got the deluxe stainless steel trim around them. And, you know, it's just a plug and play installation. And it's that final missing piece to convert your square body completely over to LED.
Perfect. So if you guys need some directional mirrors, some bedsides, bed floor, or maybe some LED lighting, United Pacific, upcarparts.com. That's upcarparts.com. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Ronnie. We'll see you out there on the road.
Let me tell you what Melba's Toast is packing right here. I've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some bucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Got the ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth flapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
What's up? What's up, my brothers and my sisters? How are we doing? Hope you guys are getting some of that shopping out of your system. It's Christmas time. Thanksgiving's over. Hopefully you guys all had an absolutely amazing Thanksgiving. And we're here, episode 227. Mike Millan and the Poised Hipster. What a story, right? So you're going to dig this one. The journey, the adventure of what this guy's gone through, been through. The story of his truck. The story of his life. It's deep, and it's something that we haven't really, I don't think I've had a guest like this on the pod, so it'll hit home for sure. So Mike, again, thanks for your time. Thanks for being such a rad dude. Thanks for coming in studio and sharing your story. Episode 226, jumping back to the Get Down pod. If you haven't checked that one out, we've got some coverage from the 11th annual Get Down. Now, Grindr just dropped part one for the Get Down coverage. So jump on over to the YouTubes and check out Grindr TV. Mike is the kind of the face now. So he's back there. I mean, you've got Brian, but now you've got Mike. So you'll definitely be able to put one and one together and make at least three out of this deal. But you'll see Mike on there. So check out part one of Grindr's coverage from the Get Down. It's an awesome job. And these two do a great job because Mike's kicking butt behind the mic, and Brian's doing what he does. Amazing edit on this one, Brian. Great job. Love the tunes, the beats, the way you kind of put it all together. So part one, Grindr TV. Check it out on YouTube. We had a big Black Friday, Small Business Saturday Suck It Sunday and Small Business Cyber Monday, whatever, right? So we had all of our gear. You guys stepped up. I just want to say we appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the gear and what we've got going on over here. And it's cool that you guys dig it. So we keep trying to put out rad stuff, and you guys are answering the call. So we do appreciate that as well. Toy drives this weekend coming up. I know in Cali at Pomona, John Orrell's got his traditional Sunday Pomona toy drive over there. And then Arizona, Brian Val had posted something. They're working with the Peoria Firefighters Charities this year. So they'll be up there. The Peoria Firefighters will have a show. So if you're in Arizona, December 5th, Sunday, up in the Peoria Sports Complex, which is not very far from Mike, of all places, kind of on the other side of the valley for us in Phoenix. And then over in Cali and Pomona, I know John's got his going on. So if you're, hey, what should we do here? We've got some toy drives to jump onto this Sunday. I usually check Tennessee. Some of the other areas, I didn't see anything. Texas sometimes does it. I didn't see anything. Check your local listings. See what your local C10 Club guys are doing. And maybe you can help out or, just get behind the movement, the toy drive movement. All right, let's get into Mike's story. It is one of a kind. The dude has been through some serious shit. What a stud and what a story. It's a rad dude, man, for sure. Love what he's doing and the message that he's putting out. You might notice this week's background's a little different. No, it's not Madonna. It'll make a little bit more sense as you work through the pod. Do us a favor, like it, love it, share it. Share Mike's story. Let somebody else know that you think might like to listen to this podcast. We do appreciate it. Thanks again for the support. Stay out of trouble. Do what you do. Late. Okay, it says it's going. Let's test. See what you sound like.
Test. What do I sound like?
You sound mucho good.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, hey.
That's nice.
Hey. How are you doing?
Hey now.
Hey now. Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right. In studio, we've got Mr. Poised Hipster, Mike Millan, and he brought his own mic. I brought a mic into the studio. We're pretty excited about this. I've got him as the Moonbeam. I've got him as Mullet Mike. I don't know that he's going to love that.
I don't know if
one.
that's a new thing. I don't know where that came from.
Mike Talk.
Mike on the mic.
Mike on the mic. All right, dude. So I've got you in studio. I'm pretty jacked about this because I already told you I'm excited to have, when I do get people into the studio, I like that. But the other thing about it is really it's one of those things where you and I have talked, you've come like in the scene lately. I've been seeing you everywhere. You had a great 2021 shows doing it. But the biggest thing for me is I think I'm kind of a good judge of character, and you're one of those people where the trucks are cool, but the people are cooler.
Right, man.
And that's what I dig about not only you, your group, your posse, and really the persona that you put off to what our community is and how lucky we are. So welcome to the studio, brother.
Hey, man. Love to be here. Long-time listener. First-time caller.
6'1", 280.
That's it, man. Dreamt about this moment.
I was in your dreams. We were in your dreams.
You know.
Nice. Well, you're here now. So what do you want to talk about?
Whatever you want. Lay it all out on the table. I'm a pretty open book. I got some cool stories. I've been through some stuff. If you want to really get to know me, ask away. Anything you want. Talk about whatever.
He's got some layers on. We're gonna dive in. I think first and foremost, who's Mike? So give us a story. Married, got a couple kids.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Mike. Like I said, I'm married. My wife Ashley. I got 2 boys. They're 8 years old, 6 years old. Reese and Riker. And I just live for them, man. I do construction. I own a framing company. I do a lot of commercial work, residential work here in the Valley. Kind of something that I was born into in my family, being framers, originally from California, lived in the LA area, and just kept moving east as the construction grew and Arizona started growing. Been here since about 98. Really, my family came in 92. We were back and forth for many years. Finally made the move out here. Scottsdale, Peoria, Phoenix, Glendale, South Phoenix, you name it. I lived everywhere. Kind of a cool fact. I went through probably 9 or 10 schools from preschool till I graduated high school. So
just because so much movement.
That's it, man. So much movement, following the work. Like I said, LA to Palm Desert, we lived in Murrieta, Temecula, kept coming out, moved to Paradise Valley when we first came here. And like I said, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade was almost a different school every year. That's kind of, doing that, you're the new kid at every school, right? And you got to make your mark. You got to do something, right? So I learned to just make people laugh, make people smile. And that's kind of what I continue to do now is I like it, man. Smiling's contagious, I believe. It's a lot easier to be kind. It takes just as much energy to be mean than it does to be kind. So
that's pretty cool. I wonder too, sometimes people feel like they're kind of down on they're like, oh, I'm the new kid, right? Well, you look like embraced it. At what point as a young kid did you realize like, dude, I got, 1 or 2 different ways I can approach this?
No, absolutely. And that's what it was. I mean, as you grow older and you start to develop a personality and, who you are and find yourself like, I don't want to go by Michael no more. Michael doesn't sound cool. I want to go by Mike. Call me Mike. That other guy over there was a Mike at the other school. I want to be the Mike at this school, right? And so you start developing that. And it's it's like, you know what? I don't want to be sitting alone at lunch, right? I don't want to be the only kid that's not playing soccer out there, being the last one to get picked. Like I want to, I want to be friends with people. I want to meet people, hear stories, learn what I'm living in now. Everything's constant change and stuff. So
would you say then you're kind of an extrovert because of that?
I'm definitely. And it's funny because my wife's completely opposite, right? They say opposites attract. So yeah, she's definitely a shy person and I'm the more outgoing one. Like I said, within the past couple of years, I've jumped on more with Grindr and kind of started showing my face, behind the thing. I have a couple pages on the Instagram, right? I have the Poised Hipster, which is just all my truck, only my truck. If you want to see my truck, go there from the start to finish, what I've been doing the past 10 years on this thing. Then I have my, my personal page, PP Moonbeam, Perfect Poise Car Club that I'm in. I've been with those guys 15 years and it's crazy. It's like I said, that's kind of the more personal side of me. That's my family. That's my wife. That's my kids and stuff that I do. So
when you look back, you came here in 92 to PHX, right? Mm-hmm. And then you would go back and forth and moved all over. Do you ever have any friends that you stayed in contact that were like maybe elementary, junior high?
Well, there's very few that I would know. I don't have any of those longtime friends from kindergarten or 1st grade. We lived in the same school. I didn't know a lot of my neighbors half the time. We lived in apartments. You'd make friends and stuff. But the longest friends I have are just, the guys that I really met once I came out here and joined our car club, Perfect Poise. I'm a middle child of 2 sisters in between, above me and below me. And I never had brother growing up. My parents split up. They've been remarried a couple of times and I've had step brothers, step siblings, but even then you don't always stay in contact with them. But the most constant people that I've had in my life has always been the car club. My buddies, John Trevino, Ernie Baca, these guys that I've been friends with forever. They were best man and groomsmen in my wedding and stuff. So going on 10 years now, at least,
I love that part about the culture that we live in with the automotive, that
right.
the metal brought us together and then the people keep you coming back. And then you think like you have friends. And sometimes I explain it to my non-truck car friends and they're like, and for me, the fire department, right? I mean, that's a whole other sect of people, a fraternity, if you will.
No, absolutely.
And they're like, what's going on over here? Who are these freaking,
band of brothers?
Who's these band of brothers?
Yeah.
But then when it's cool when I take let's say an FD guy or maybe a high school friend, because I'm really a weird perspective from there because I still hang out with like 5 of my high school buddies. We're still friends, best man, go back and forth. But when you combine all those, I do like to see the interaction when you kind of take the groups and put them all together.
Right.
And the good thing about the truck group and really the fire department group too is the fire department guys now are like, dude, when's the next truck show? When are we gonna go do this? What? And some of them, my one buddy, he doesn't even have a truck. He just loves going and hanging out with all the truck guys because they're great people.
That's the thing. And it's cool. Like you see these little interviews I've been doing now with Brian and Grinder and stuff, just getting to know the people and stuff. And one of the coolest things I heard this past time at Dino's, I was just kind of watching some of the footage last night, who I was interviewing. And you know Jose from Texas, right?
Drops R Us.
Yep. Yeah. Very cool dude. And I asked him, I said, hey man, you know, what's the coolest thing that you've been watching online or on social media that you want to see here? He says, no, man, I want to see the homies. We could see trucks any day. But when we have everyone together, all the friends together and the people together, man, that's what really makes it. No, it is absolutely that. That's what I love. This community of peoples, anything automotive, this is what brings us together. And then what we see as everyone progresses throughout the year, right? And you, not only on their vehicle, but also in their life. Like I said, you've been with these guys, you've known these people 10 plus years, and now people are having kids and they're buying houses and starting their families, and we don't see each other as much. We're not hanging out, drinking beers all night like we used to, because, you know, we got to get home to the family, take care of the kids and stuff. But it's cool. I love it. It's definitely some of the coolest people I've ever met, some of the most interesting people, and some of the most kindest people too. Like the guys that'll absolutely give you the shirt off their back, drive halfway across the country to come give you a pair of socks if you need it. You know what I mean? Something as crazy as that. But
totally. How did you break down? So how because you're moving around so much, and you through divorces and a lot of things that somebody who had a normal childhood,
right,
quote unquote normal.
Right.
I mean, anymore that is almost normal.
It is
how
normal,
did you
right?
get into the trucks? How does little Mike end up thinking, dude, I really dig these trucks? Was it influence from coworker, father, uncle? How'd you kind of break in?
Yeah, a little mix of it. I was thinking about that the other day too. It's like, you know, when you had first asked me to come, I was like, you know, I wonder what we're going to talk about. I said, well, how did I even get into trucks? Like, what was my furthest memory I can think back of this stuff? I mean, I was always, like I said, I didn't have any brothers. I had two sisters growing up, and they didn't want to be into cars or stuff that I was in. So I remember being on the side of my house, building little tracks, taking Hot Wheels down, doing stuff all by myself over there. And then, my dad and his brothers, they had some lower vehicle. My uncle, he passed away not too long ago, but he had a cool little truck back in the day. It was all pink, Toyota. And they
like
called
a mini?
him, yeah, mini truck. And they called him Pinky. They called him Pinky for it. And he became a DJ, and that was his DJ name. He was on the radio on, you know, in LA and stuff, on KGGR, whatever they call him out there. And yeah, man, DJ Pinky on the mix over here. And I remember seeing these slam trucks. You know, my dad, my father, he had a Ford, I remember, like a F-350 crew cab dually. This thing was bad, and it was hammered. It was low, real low. And he had some stop at the gas station and fill up the airbags in the back when you hooked up the boat to it, right? So I remember seeing that growing up, but then it's like, man, I like the way these trucks look. Something about a lowered truck, something like that. You know, these guys are different. They're out of the norm. These aren't the same cars coming out of the factory. I don't know where the bug bit me exactly at what age, but I remember at some point, I remember seeing this. Man, I want one of those one day. I want one of those.
Do you think, maybe, you know, Dr. Phil moment, do you think that because you saw maybe how people looked at your Uncle Pinky, your dad's F-350, and people are like, damn, like that a lot of times that's like, hey, I want to build something rad right? like that, and that gets that attention, and I don't know. I mean, you'd have to really dive in and figure it out, but it does seem like there's something there, because it's not like, it sounds like you didn't grow up going to car shows or stuff like that.
No, I never really did car shows growing up. You know, nothing really automotive. I played some sports. I played ice hockey real younger in California.
Wow,
that's crazy off there, but I played ice hockey pretty competitively for many years. I want to say from 8-9 years old until I was 14-15 years old. A good solid traveling all the time. But no, never car shows, nothing automotive like that. I mean, I always wanted to be that kid walking home from the Scholastic Book Fair with that Lamborghini poster or that Ferrari poster, right? That was, man, but I was never that kid. I never had car posters in my room, you know. It was always sports stuff or hockey, Wayne Gretzky or something, nice. You know what I mean? But no, at some point, yeah, I absolutely think that it's you. Like I said, smiling's contagious, man. And when you get those thumbs up or people saying that, like, yeah, I think I felt some sort of bite from there watching them and say, man, that's cool. You guys are cool. And the way that people look at this stuff, man, I like that reaction. And yeah, I definitely, I mean, I've been all over the place with cars. I've owned almost, you know.
So how did you finally settle down, right? Somewhere like here in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then how does the first day where Mike decides he's going to go to the Good Guy show or he's going to go to something and he's like, I want to get into this scene?
Yeah, you know what? That just that kind of sparked a good memory right there. You're saying that. So my grandfather, he really did a big part of raising me. He's real old school, right? He's very limited education, can't read or write, but the guy created a big framing business, built. We added up one time. There's over 15,000 homes that he built here in Phoenix between the years of 92 to 2006. Like he was doing a couple thousand homes a year, right? It was big. So I remember at one point in the height of the economy, right? Maybe I was in high school, so maybe somewhere around the 2000s, he took me to a Barrett Jackson show. And man, he went pretty hard that year. I think he bought like 4 cars. He bought a 57 Nomad.
So this guy who couldn't read or write builds his company, but now he's buying
man.
some.
I mean, he came from East LA, living in the slums, picking cotton, grapes, and whatever else they pick over there. And, he told me stories. He'd go to work at 10 years old and take home his, $1.50 for the day, whatever he was getting, and just start saving money, and then wanted more things, wanted to, have this big dream that he had. And dreams are free. So when he says that, he got himself out of the audio there and, moved it up. So here's this guy, created all this company, great success, hero story. And, he starts showing me car stuff, and he starts, being able to do that, teaching me stuff. He's real big. He was born in 1940. So any car from the 1940 he wants to buy. So he has all these old Chevy, custom deluxe coupes, whatever they call them. I remember him, he was kind of the biggest guy in my life that showed me about cars. I remember being, younger, maybe 12, 13 years old. And he's washing his car out there, and he teaches me this trick. He said, go get the diesel can over here. We're going to shine this thing up. This is how we used to do it back in the day when they had lead paint. You take this diesel right here, put on a little rag with some water, and you just wipe it down. This is how you get that nice shine on the paint. I'm like, man, my hands stink, but that car looks good, man. That's a pretty good one. So no, that going to the Barrett Jackson, I think, and actually seeing, just the Barrett Jackson cars that you see out there, and being able to be exposed to that, but then also seeing like, man, he just took home 4 of these cool cars, man. 34 Ford ZZ Top style chop top hot rod. He bought some kit car Mercedes replica from like a 1930 style car and stuff. So yeah, man, that's kind of where the bug kind of, I think, really grew on me. And I was older at that time, like I said, probably 12, 13. So that's
is he still around?
No, he's still around. He's still around. He's 80 years old. He's got a small restaurant over by one of the fire training academies on the lower Buckeye and 43rd Avenue. So he hangs out there, man. He went through some problems with his back, had to have some back surgery. So he just feels he's too much of a liability to come out on the job site anymore and do construction. So he gets to just mingle. He gets to talk to people all day. I'm kind of jealous. He gets to hear people's stories, where they came from, and then, just feel good in his restaurant. They're serving people.
Do you think that he took, because you were the only boy, right? And then you had these girls, something happened where he decided to take you, maybe a cousin or two or something, take you to that show? Did he take you under that wing and say, hey, Mike, you're my man?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. I'm the oldest of, I think he has like 14 grandkids and now close to probably 10, 12 great grandkids. So, but I'm the oldest boy. Right? And then in our Hispanic heritage, that's kind of a thing. That's kind of an honor to be. And I'm still his right-hand man. I'm like his second son that he didn't have, later on. And he taught me everything. But yeah, I remember him taking us to, like I said, the Barrett Jackson, but then also a Good Guys show. Because once he had those cars, hey, let's take them out. Let's go do something. This was 10, 15 years ago. No, this is 20 years ago, man.
Well, and he saw you light up, right?
Oh, dude, he saw it. And he saw the way I was. And he saw that when I would come over on the weekend, especially when I turned, 16 years old or 15 and a half and got my learner's permit, yeah, I wanted to drive these cars, man. I'm washing them for you. I'm taking care of them. Let me drive
like the Karate Kid, dude.
That's it.
Wax on with the diesel.
I didn't know what I was learning, man, and here it is. So got to take these cool, $100,000 cars out that he was lucky enough to have and have. And so, back in, like I said, 2004, that was really when I graduated and was able to jump kind of into the business and then into that kind of lifestyle. And so,
does he still have a few of the cars?
He kind of sold off a lot. He still has a couple of the 1940 sedan and coupe. He has that Mercedes replica. He's got an older, it's really clean. It's got like 15,000 miles, but it's a Mercedes S600 V12. Crazy. It's like bulletproof glass and stuff, man. But just parks in the garage. So I stop by there maybe a couple of times a month. I fire the cars up, whatever else, just kind of maintain it. But
rub some diesel on them.
It is, man. I mean, he's like 80 years old. You get that kind of sense of mortality, right? How much longer I got here and what to do. So he's just, his priorities of what he has and what he's trying to maintain kind of change. So wherever I can help him out with that. And one of the benefits is I get to use the cars sometimes.
So you're 12 years old. Your grandpa takes you out to Good Guys, Barrett Jackson. You guys have a good time. Now, fast forward to how you get to be, building things, and I mean, to go as far as to be, in a car club or a truck club.
So around that same age, right, my parents split up. My biological mother and father, they split up. So here I am, a high school kid. My mom remarried pretty quick. My dad a year later or something. So I had some step parents now. So my stepdad, who's the one that actually, my truck is a 76. He's the one that taught me. He was a Teamster, union truck driver. He was ex-military Navy. He fought in Vietnam. He, real good guy, really cool guy. And he's the one that kind of taught me everything, right? All the dad stuff. Here's how you shave, Mike. Here's how you drive this truck. The truck was a, inline 6, 3-speed on the column. And that's what I learned. He'd drive me to school and don't pick me up in that thing. It's so ugly, man.
That's crazy.
Here I was back then, right? I mean, 2000 yeah, Dad, that's embarrassing. Take it out. That's not a cool car. That's not a cool car. My first car was a hand-me-down Mercedes 190E. It was pretty pimping, dude. It was pretty pimping. Back then I had 19-inch. Well, I was working since I was 14 years old. Earlier than that, my grandpa would pick me up, take me to work. I learned how to make money. He wanted me to follow in his footsteps. So when I was in high school, I was making pretty good money, right? And I would save it. And I said, well, here it is. My stepdad, Jack, he taught me a little bit how to weld in the backyard. He would build his own trailers back there. He taught me how to change oil, take a spare tire off, put it on when there's a flat, blowout, whatever you have. He taught me all the guy stuff, right?
Yeah.
The street smart stuff, right? Then I have my grandpa who taught me the other stuff about maintaining it in the cars and then maintaining your money and bringing that stuff in there. So, I always wanted to have a cool ride, and I knew I needed money, so I would just work whenever I could. And yeah, man,
you were set up. I mean, I think about it, if because your grandpa kind of showed you the way a little bit in the cars, and then how lucky do you ever realize? I mean, because I had a stepdad who was not. I mean, he taught me things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to cry about it, but he was a dick. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like Jack was a good dude.
He was very welcoming. I was the dick, if anything, man. I would do this stuff, man. I mean, because your parents aren't together and you're a kid and you didn't want that. But now here's this new guy in your life, and he's trying to be the most kindest guy, and he was. But I would do shaving cream in his slippers and put him on. Just step on your shaving cream, man. I would just mess with him, dude. I punched him in the nuts one time. He got pissed off and left, and it was, dude, it's dude, these memories I bring back. But
we see this nice Mike out and about, and now we find out
crazy,
the truth,
man. It's like, he was the most welcoming, most nicest guy, and just wanted to teach me the stuff that he obviously knew. A man should know, a guy should know.
Now, did he have some boys too, or
no? He did. He has some boys. He has some older boys, actually. 2 of his boys are actually firemen over in Peoria.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
Yeah, they got they're in fire, and the other one's EMT. But yeah, they're older. They were all older. When I met him, like I said, I was 12, 13, and they were already 20, 21, moved on with their life, and kind of some of them had some kids.
Yeah,
closer to one was closer to 30, but I still keep in touch with them. They're really cool guys, really really nice guys. But I never was really with them all the time.
Sure,
right? They were older, different generation. But yeah, he took me in as like his last son, his youngest son that he had, and just kind of taught me all that stuff, man. He, like I said, taught me how to lift weights, taught me how to weld with these big old sticks in the rod and everything, right? And taught me about how fire works, and throw a cigarette out in a can of gas. I thought it exploded. I was like, man, you're crazy. You're teaching me this stuff. Or taught me hunting. He was a big varmint caller, big hunter, big deerman guy. So.
Oh, and now is he still around too?
No, man, he passed away. So he passed away in like 2005, 2006. I think it's 2006. And he 2005. And he left me the truck. He left me the 76 that I have. And
at the time, did you realize like the kind of the value there?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. Like I said, remember I told you that I was kind of embarrassed of these old trucks, but at the same time, it was that sentimental piece that I had left of him, right? Like like I said, he was older than my mom. He fought in Vietnam War. From the asbestos, all this stuff, he qualified under the Agent Orange, and that's really what took him down. He got, cancer attacked him, lung, liver, spine, kidney, everything. Just all his organs shut down. But he still had enough energy to write some nice notes before he left to each one of us as kids and stuff. And, Mike, take care of your mom. She needs someone, a hand to hold and stuff. Just really nice, kind words. But, nicest guy. I didn't know the value in anything. Actually, I kind of coped with that, dealt with it different. I moved back to California after I graduated here, went and did a couple of years of school at Cal State Fullerton. And I just didn't really talk to anyone in my family. I just was kind of shut out to everyone, just went into this little hole and just didn't, right? And at that time, the truck was still sitting. My mom had some money and she decided to take it to a shop down in South Phoenix to kind of restore up a little bit, right? Get it a solid color paint on it because it wasn't painted. So she had it painted a white with some black racing stripes on it, redid the whole interior, swapped it out from the inline 6 and put a 350 on there, made it an automatic.
Now, was this something to surprise you?
No, this was something that she just did. My sister at the time was living with her. My sister's boyfriend at the time also was just kind of driving it around, and then it just kind of sat after that. And my sister and that guy broke up, and then my sister went off to school and started her life different. So my mom was just kind of sitting there, and then I went and did my thing in California. Like I said, wasn't talking to my family.
And
kind of had some down years.
20, 21,
20, 21 when I came back. And, I had a job and stuff. And I said, well, let me drive that. I need a truck. I still only have a car. And at the time, actually, I had a 2004 Chevy Colorado. So it was a new body style. I had that slammed and everything. I was actually in a truck club out there in California at the time, a mini truck club, Sunset in Inland Empire. So I was hanging out with them, came back over here, said, I can't use this. I need to haul stuff. I started driving the truck. I was doing a drywall at the time, just scrapping out. When the guys would go in there, put the drywall up, I was picking up the trash, throwing it away, coming home just full of dust all the time. So driving that truck and drove it for about a year. And one day, real hot Arizona summer, 120 some degrees. And the thermostat just froze up on me and overheated the truck, locked it up on the freeway, and sat there and just kind of put it on the back burner for a while, let it sit. And it wasn't until many years later, not many years, this is all within a short 10-year span, but someone in my truck club actually had a frame that they had started building for one, a body drop frame.
Now, this is the Cali Truck Club, or now you moved
Now
over
I moved back to Arizona, yeah. So let's go back.
Okay.
I moved back to Arizona, and I've known a lot of these guys since before I left.
We're backing it up. Beep, 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 beep.
So back in Arizona, left the Cali Truck Club. I still talk to those guys, but just left them. No bad terms or nothing. Started hanging out here with some of the old friends I had, guys I'd see before, Perfect Poised guys, John Trevino, Brett Taylor. So hanging out with these guys again. And I said, yeah, I had my Colorado at the time. Wasn't anything cool. It was on airbags and stuff, but it was still cool. All the cars I've had are cool. So it's I said that truck is just something. I mean, I don't know what to do with it. It's just sitting there. Then someone in the club said, hey, I got a frame. We started it. We got rid of the build, but here's pictures of it. It was a fleet side. I know yours is a step side, but it's still the same cab mount, same front end. Now, at this time, let's say this is probably 2005. There really wasn't too many chassis companies out there, right? Or guys making front end kits for these trucks. I can't remember. I mean, you've been here longer than me doing this stuff. There wasn't really these, Porterbuilt, GSI, Roadster shop that were making chassis quite at that time, I don't think, because I would have looked them up. But we used all 94 Chevy front end components just because that was more available, control arms and everything. So that was what on the frame. I bought it for $300, just the price of the metal, and they hauled it over to me. And that's what kind of started it, man. I just said, yeah, let's swap this chassis over. I mean, it should bolt right up. Once I put it on there, put the wheels on there, sat it down, and that fenders on that step side sucked up that back wheel. I said, oh man, we got something cool here. We got something real cool here. So that's when it kind of took off. That's where I said, okay, so this was probably about 10 years ago then.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, that's 2011, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the cool part too, to think about it, is Jack.
Yeah.
He had other biological sons.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I want Mike to have the truck.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Right.
Whether or not the boys didn't want it, or, your stepbrothers.
Right.
Or he saw that light and he knew that there's something there.
Something there for him to leave it. Now, maybe it's something that we had together that we'd worked on, because, we worked on that. I remember going down and picking up a new hood. This is when I first learned about aftermarket parts and what kind of stuff's available. I'm like, oh, you can get all this stuff just right here. You can get a brand new hood. That's crazy, man. I didn't know you could do that, man.
They still make parts for these fucking things.
Yeah, this little 14-year-old kid, I don't know nothing about cars. So yeah, that's when he kind of started teaching me about kind of fixing stuff up. And yeah, I think that's probably why he left it, man, to be honest. Yeah, he knew that there was something special there. And, I don't hold too many things sentimental. I don't keep a lot of stuff. I have one tub in my attic that I keep of just stuff that I never will throw away. And, if I could fit my truck in there, it'd be one of them. But that's something I can't get rid of. That's something that we have together, right? It's funny because speaking of the aftermarket parts, I was on one of these Facebook groups and these guys are asking, hey, I got this step side bed I'm going to put on. This is my dad's old truck. Same kind of story. A lot of guys have these tribute trucks to their dads, right? It's good memory of them. And these guys are asking, hey, the floor's all rusted out. Should I just get another cab and swap it out? I'm like, I mean, you could if you want to. Yeah, you can swap it out. It's not going to be the same VIN number, same original stuff, but there's so much aftermarket stuff available. You can get floor panels now. You can weld them in.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do a full restoration of the same thickness of metal from that same year they were using at Chevy plant, I mean, that's cool too. But you got to think, man, this is the cab that your dad sat in. This is the doors that he closed all the time and stuff, right? It's just those kind of things you think about it. And I kind of had one of those moments driving to LST this past year. Truck just kind of got done. It's been in phases, man. There's been a couple of times I keep taking it back. I want to change the bumpers. I want to change the motor now. Let's get this thing going. So LST was kind of my first real kind of test trip, right? That was a cool trip. And at one point we're driving down after the tire blowouts and all that crazy shit that happened on the freeway. And I'm cruising and I'm by myself at this point now. And it's got to be close to 1 a.m. or something as we're getting to the hotel. 85 miles per hour speed limit on the freeway. And I'm just, half inch off the ground, just cruising, just looking around. I just get chills thinking about it because, I'm here I am, 1,000 miles from home, driving this truck, 85 miles per hour. And you think like, man, what if I break down? It's like, no, I've built this truck. I know every single nut and bolt on this truck at this point. Like I know everything. If anything happens, it's all right. There's guys behind me. There's guys in front of me. We're going to be all right. But still, it's that moment where you're like, man, here's this, almost 50-year-old truck now cruising down the highway. And it's, man, I love it. It's an unreal feeling, right? And it's one of those moments that, man, I wish my dad was here.
Yeah.
I wish Jack was here to feel this.
And I mean, right, he kind of is.
Yeah, no, he is.
And that's the cool part where
it's a good memory.
We have to think that. Well, I feel like it's like, dude, he's here in spirit and body with me. Like right. I'm in this truck. He gave me this truck for whatever reason he saw. And then what you did. And I love that part of it. I love it when, even if I sell a truck or you meet a guy who has a truck, I literally just posted it the other day. I go to Ace Hardware 2 miles from my house and I see this beautiful 79 Silverado in the parking lot. And I'm like, dude, what's the story on this truck? I go into Ace and I'm like, okay, who owns the truck?
You're looking around.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, going to profile
who owns this truck? And I don't know why, but I could tell it was like, I'm like, this is a kid. And he backed it in and he works at Ace. Like I could tell.
Yeah.
And dude, the kid's still, he's a senior in high school. Yeah. He's going to graduate. His great grandpa gave him the truck.
That's
right.
Awesome.
So who else does that truck belong to? I mean, what better person does that truck? So for you, your 76 square body, who else? I mean, it works out. And at one point you could give two shits about the truck, right?
Yeah.
There's a point where Jack gives it to you, your mom spends some money on it, and you could care. You're like, if she called you, if you look back and she said, Mikey, what do you want me to do with this truck? I don't want to store it anymore. And you're like, I don't care, Mom, sell it, right? But it stayed in the family, and you're never getting rid of that truck.
No. And see, that's the crazy thing. That truck was actually, man, a lot of stuff happened within the past year, like this whole story, right? So kind of filling bits and pieces back in.
Pro Performance has been your favorite parts supplier for almost 10 years, but we're not slowing down. We've stepped up our stocking orders to make sure we have more of what you want when you want it, ready to ship or pick up at the shop. Check with us first for top brands like React Suspension, Snowden Custom Seats, Vintage Air, and Willwood. Pro Performance is also your #1 source for Dakota Digital, so whether you need a full kit or a few accessories, or just want to see the new RTX series, hit us up. Check out the website at azproperformance.com to see our full line and which shows we'll be at in 2021.
C10 Nation, what's stopping you? Well, CPP has you covered. They offer multiple different options to make the disc brake conversion as easy as possible on both you and your wallet. And I am so stoked to announce they are giving our listeners 10% off your total order. 10%. Damn, son. From stock height conversions to their Big Break Grand Slam kit. How's your altitude? You need to get a little lower? CPP has you covered there too. They offer a wide variety of drop kits for you to choose from. Guys, take advantage of this 10% savings now. Head over to classicperform.com, that's classicperform.com, and use special code C10 Talk. That's C10 Talk to save big today. Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. It all started in the original owner's garage. From humble beginnings of a couple parts in a garage to a 2-building manufacturing facility making over 6,000 parts, Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They not only design the products, but also design the tooling to build the products, guaranteeing quality control. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. Aluminum strips are double polished, creating a mirror finish, and crystal clear anodized. They use the highest quality, hand-selected show quality wood that will hold up over time. Why? Because it's kiln dried to precision moisture levels specifically for Marquet. They stock oak, pine, and mini exotics, guaranteeing extremely fast delivery. All parts are manufactured in-house in Oklahoma City, USA. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bed wood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com.
Man, a lot of stuff happened within the past, like this whole story, right? So kind of filling bits and pieces back in, these trucks, he left me a couple of trucks. I don't want to say he left them to me, but he just left them. And really no one claimed them. I did. For whatever reason, they were for me. And I kept them at my grandpa's yard. And at this time, I was in California going to school. Doing my
half
stuff.
the problem is if you're a young man, you don't even have a place to keep them.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
it worked out. Your grandpa's
stuff.
like, hey, we got the yard. Bring your shit over here.
Yeah. So at that time, too, like I said, I kind of went off on my, what do you call it?
You were trying to find yourself.
Yeah, I tried to find myself.
The moonbeam himself.
Searching for the moonbeam and seeing who I really am, soul searching. And I'm in California, not talking to my family. My grandpa goes through the, that recession time. He says, you know what? I own everything, no debt. I'm just going to close up shop. Let's do the yard. Let's start clearing all the stuff out of here. I can lease the yard for something else. Cool. Started cleaning it up. The trucks are back there. Right?
No, he leaves you more than one truck.
The 76, the 76 wasn't the only truck. He also had a 67, right? Like an Apache, is that what they call them?
No? C10. 67 would be a C10, yeah.
No, not 67, 57.
Oh, yeah, Apache. Okay.
Apache, 57. With like the GMC and the Chevy front end, right?
Okay,
different ones. He has a whole different setup. And then there was an international truck over there too that he had, just a little work truck. Well, they started scrapping everything, right? I come back from California and I say, hey, where's that old Apache at? No, it's gone. It's gone. Yeah, your grandpa picked it up with the forklift, just drove the forklift into it, picked it up, put it on the scrap truck trailer, and they hauled it off.
Tri-5 guys are crying right now.
Oh, they are, dude.
Oh, they're like,
forklift
no!
through the doors, probably ripping the seats, everything. Man, it's got the nice round back glass, right?
Big back window.
Dude.
Oh, my
that
God.
was the one, that got away. I don't know where it's at. Somewhere squashed, probably.
Yeah.
Just like my dreams on it. But no, the 76, the step side survived, for whatever reason. It was meant to be. And yeah, man, it's a wild story on that stuff. But there was other trucks. There was other trucks out there, but the 76 survived it. So that's the one we went with, I guess. That's what we had, and that's something I can't get rid of, like I said.
Well, and this isn't my perfect segue of timing, but you also survived some stuff too, right? So when you look at who you are, and this is something I in the last couple months we've been hanging out a lot more because I see you at different shows. Right. But you survived cancer in this whole journey of this truck building process as well. Man.
There's, like I said, there's some big gaps in there, and one of those biggest gaps was the cancer. So it's getting close. This time of year also, you kind of get that feeling because this is when I was kind of. So let's start back 6 years ago, 2015. 6 years ago, right? 2015 to December, a couple days before Christmas. I'm sitting here. I'm leaving my grandpa's house. I say bye to my grandma. She looks blurry to me in one eye. I'm like, okay, why does she look blurry? Maybe I got a piece of sawdust in my eye. We do framing and stuff. Okay, we drive. We go to Flagstaff the next day for the Polar Express with my wife and kids. Come back. Sunday, it's still blurry. I said, well, there's something. I got to go to the eye doctor. Go down to the little walk-in Vision Quest or whatever they call them, or the Nationwide Vision. Check out my eye, and the guy's like, yeah, you got a hemorrhage in your eye. Like, it's just a blood burst in there. They should clear up. Are you diabetic? I said, no, I'm not diabetic. I don't think so anyways. Okay, well, you need to see a retina specialist. Go down to specialist. Went to the specialist, same thing. Hey, yeah, you got a hemorrhage, it'll go away, but do you have diabetes? I said, no, I don't have diabetes. Not that I know. I should probably go get checked because now there's 2 professionals telling me. So now, like I said, a couple days before Christmas, I go to my primary care doctor just to get some blood work done. I want to see if I'm diabetic. They said, okay, we're going to get your blood work back to you. It'll be a couple of days. Probably after Christmas, we'll give you your results.
Right
okay,
before
cool.
Christmas time, you said?
Right before Christmas. This is like within the 21st, 22nd of Christmas, right? The next day, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was the 23rd of December, 2015. I get a call. I'm sitting at lunch with my uncle, my cousin, and one of the guys from the job site, one of the superintendents. We're just having some lunch. I get a phone call from my doctor's office. So, hello, hey, is this Michael? Yes, Michael. Hey, the doctor got your results back on your blood test, and they want you to get to the hospital as soon as you can. And I was like, as soon as I can? I was like, is something wrong? And they're like, well, we don't really know. This is what the doctor told us. I said, well, you got to be more specific. Like, I'm at work right now. Can I finish lunch? Can I go home, pick up my wife? Can I drop my truck off? Can I take a shower? I don't know. They just said you should probably get there sooner rather than later. I said, okay. I said, can you tell me any more information? She said, there's something with your counts that were a little off. Okay. Sounds good. I said, okay. So I said, you know what, guys? Once we get back from lunch, I got to take off. They want me to go to the hospital or something. Okay. So I go home. I pick up my wife. I say, hey, here's what they called me and told me. Let's go to the hospital. Let's see what's up. I might be sick or something. Maybe I have a virus. Okay. So we go to the hospital, and it was kind of funny. We sat in there, and I said, hey, look, like, whatever they tell us right now.
Where'd you go? Estrella?
So I'm on the West Valley.
Yeah.
So I go to Banner Estrella Hospital. Just go to the ER and check in. And I say, hey, we're sitting in the car. And I say, hey, look.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even know what to tell
I don't know
the
what
ER.
to tell.
You're like,
I don't know
I'm
what
here.
to tell my wife. I say, hey, look, I don't know what's going on. They're saying there's something wrong. And I've been kind of fatigued for a month or two, right? Just kind of runny nose. I cough. I can't get rid of seasonal allergies, whatever it is I could think of. So we sit in the car. So whatever it is, I don't know. Whatever they tell me, if I'm going to die or something, we're going to get through this. We're cool. She's like, yeah, don't say that. But yeah, we're going to be cool. So, okay. So we go in. It's kind of a long, drawn out process and stuff. I get into admin, whatever, check me in, do the vitals and stuff, get back into a room. They come and do another blood test.
Are you level of stress 0 to 10? Are
No.
you like they think I'm a diabetic?
Like a 2, yeah.
Okay.
Like a 2. Like I'm
and
not
she's
stressed.
at a 6 or an 8.
Maybe. Yeah. She's kind of cool. She's kind of whatever she keeps to herself, right? And then so we're in there, and then I remember a doctor coming in. He's kind of looking at me weird. He's like, you feeling all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling great. Like, what's going on? He goes, okay, well, we're gonna move you over here, and we're gonna what do they call it when they
triage?
What do they call it when they actually put you in the hospital? Okay, you're not
admit.
We're gonna admit you.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna admit you to the hospital. Okay, what's going on? Well, they'll come in. So crazy story, man. I can remember clear as day. I tell my wife, like, I have this photographic memory, right? I can remember what things look like at a specific time, how things were laid out. Like, I'm gonna remember this room forever. I will, right? So I'm sitting in here and I'm doing just kind of hanging out with my wife. I'm on a bed, just kind of sitting up. I refuse to lay down. I'm just gonna sit on the edge. I'm not gonna get comfortable because I'm not staying here. And so like 5 doctors walk in, all white coats. They're not nurses. They're white jackets. And this one guy, he's like definitely from Africa, South Africa, because he has a real hard accent. And he starts telling me all this stuff. And I'm only picking up keywords because it's his hard accent's hard to understand. But I hear him say leukemia, right? Leukemia, something, this and that, and the treatments and stuff. And I say, okay. I said, I look at him and I could hear my wife. Like I could see her from my peripheral vision just out the corner of my eye. But I could hear her crying. And it's almost like I'm out of my body looking at myself down with me, the back of my head, and my wife crying, all these doctors. And I look at him and I say, hey, man, you keep saying leukemia. Like, what does that mean? Are you saying I have leukemia? And he's like, yes, that's what I'm telling you. And I said, well, how sure are you? And he's like, well, we're like 99% sure. I said, well, there's still 1%. There's still a 1% that I don't. So like, let's just bank on that. What do I need to do? Like, well, we need to get you into a room and we need to start doing some tests. Okay, let's do it. So at this point, like my wife is just in a different emotional state, right? I'm looking at her and her eyes are just dripping. And I said, don't cry. Like, we're going to get through this. We had this conversation. And I'm just kind of in my mind freaking out. Like, what does this mean? What is this path I'm going on right now? Like, I have stuff to do. I want to be at work tomorrow. Like, I got to have meetings and stuff. Like, no, I got to be out of here. Christmas is 3 days away. I can't be in here. So I was like, man, what do I do? So they get me up in the room. They put the IVs and stuff in. I've never been in the hospital. I've never broken a bone. I've never done any of this stuff. I mean, we had 2 kids. That's the most I was in a hospital, right? Now, this is a whole different experience.
And at the time, how old are the kids?
So my second son, Riker, was just a month old. He was born in November 19th. And I was diagnosed December 23rd. So he's a month old, right?
Wow.
My wife's still trying to feed, and pump, and she gets stressed out, and here's another crazy fact. From the day me and my wife got married, we had never spent a night apart, a day apart. We were always together every single, this is not by chance, or that's just how it happened. I never had to travel for work. We never went on any vacations or any trips without each other. That's just how it worked. So now we're in this hospital. We have a newborn at home and a 2-year-old at the time. And so she has to pick, what do I do? Like, do I stay in here with my husband? Do I have to go home and stuff? So that was kind of, it was a whole day, man. It was a very emotional day, right? I mean, she calls my mom, my grandparents, my dad, everyone that she can think of, she calls and lets them know. They all come to the hospital. They all just start giving me hugs and crying. I'm like, don't cry. My grandma's a cancer survivor. She's had breast cancer. And there's been a couple people in our family that have passed away, just kind of outside family, right? Not immediate family. So my grandma's another big person in my life. And I remember one of the things she told me, one of the first things she told me was, don't be scared. Do not be scared of the cancer. You can beat this. The doctors, the technology, everything. Like, just don't be scared, because the minute you're scared and you give up, cancer knows and it's going to take over. So here I am in the hospital. Family's there. They wheel me off. And now I'm like, where am I going now? Now I go in this big machine. I'm doing CT scans. I'm doing all kinds of stuff, machines I've never seen before. Then they're like, okay, we're going to do a bone marrow biopsy. I said, okay, what does that mean? Okay, well, just go ahead and lay here flat. We're going to do this. Then they pull out like a DeWalt drill with like a drill on it, man. And here I am, like this, kind of on some morphine or something, kind of out of it, not out of it. I could feel everything. And they just start drilling this hole, like right above my butt cheek and my back, right? Into the bone, like your hip bone back there. I said, man, what the heck just happened? So they just hit me with more morphine. They knocked me out for that night, man. And it's just, they come back and say, hey, look, here's what it is. Your BCR levels, your white blood cell count, right? Your white blood cell, normal blood cells should be between 4,000, 11,000. Mine were 155,000. So it's 100 times more than what you should be. And it's just too many white blood cells that are just killing everything inside, eating me out from the inside. So it's, it was nuts, man. That was a lot to take in that day. It was, okay, well, what's my next steps? Like, what do I have to do now? Well, this is treated because it's a blood cancer. We're going to start giving you these pills to take, like a chemotherapy type pill that can target what it is. What it is in your chromosomes 9 and 14 or something. They just swap. They just swap around one day. It's nothing genetic. It's nothing. It's just all random. They said it's common in people over 60. I got it when I was 29. And, I kind of told my wife, I said, I got a crazy life. I'm not going to live past 30. Like, I told her that. This is way before. But now it's getting real. I'm like, wow, dude, I'm 29. This is 6 months away. 6 months away, I'm going to be 30. And here I am telling my wife the whole time I'm not going to live past 30 as a joke. And now it's going to come bite me in the ass. So it's, here I am in the hospital. All right, let's start doing these treatments. And those things just kind of drug out for 2 years. It drug out, right?
And the babies, right? I mean, you got a baby
and the babies,
2-year-old.
in and out of the hospital. I start taking these pills and I just start getting bad side effects. I start getting bad mouth sores. I start getting just real weak. The chemo pills. You got to take them every day. And it's just, your body is not used to it. And my family on my mom's side, they're real big, like naturopathic, homeopathic medicine. I start seeing a doctor to do IVs and nutrients and vitamins to help replenish my body with what the chemo is taking away, right? Not to kind of help fight it or help with it, just to keep the natural nutrients that I'm not getting, because I just physically couldn't eat. I was just too weak to eat, too weak to work. I was lucky that I had my grandfather and my family to kind of help keep us going and stuff. But man, it was a whole life-changing experience where here I am with a newborn and a 2-year-old, and it's like, man, I'm not ready to die. Like, I can't. What is my sentence? I'll do whatever you guys tell me to do. I'll eat better. I'll work out. I'll get in shape, whatever I can do. And through all this time too, like, I'm trying to work on my truck when I can, right? I still have that thing going. And that's just what kind of keep me just like, hey, like, I got to finish this thing. I can't die before this truck's done and I leave it just like Jack left it, right? So that was always there too. And there was always things motivating me to go. So let's flash forward 2 years. All these different pills don't work. They supposed to say after 2 failed attempts of these pills, they do a bone marrow transplant. And I tried 5 different brands of these pills, and they were all just bad. So now we started looking for a match, right? We're starting looking for donors of who's my match type for it. So this Be the Match, they do the test, they do the mouth swabs, and turns out they found a match. Now, they said they had a couple partial matches. They tested my sisters. They weren't close enough match or enough match in what they needed. What they ended up going with was at the time was a 29-year-old female in Germany. Actually, they just said Europe. That's all I could know. And they said, but look, they do a holiday over there. So what's a holiday? Well, holidays is like their break, like their summer break or something. No one works. Like they don't do nothing. Okay. So this is May, and here I am needing a bone marrow transplant, but okay, they're not going to be available until maybe September. Okay. So I just stay with this stuff, right?
Who's on holiday? The doctors?
No, the donor.
People?
The donor.
Oh, the donor. She's
donor.
on holiday.
She's in Europe, right? So it's a holiday. They're on holiday.
A 3-month
like
holiday?
The song, right? Like, we are going on a summer holiday. Remember that song?
Yeah.
And
but 3 months.
I guess, dude,
and if she would have known that she could save somebody's life, she obviously signed up to do Be the Match. By the way, for you guys, we'll do a little infomercial here on Be the Match. Make sure you sign up and check that out. We'll have to get some more information out on that because it's a pretty cool thing.
It's pretty cool, man. I owe them my life for sure.
Yeah. Some guys in the fire department, same thing. We've done that for a kid who saved his life in the fire department. And then the dad of the kid was a match for somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So
that's an amazing story though too. So yeah, so she's on this holiday, right? That's all I'm allowed to know. So it's okay. So I go through my stuff. I get through. They stop me on these pills now completely just because.
How are you feeling?
No, I'm feeling horrible. I'm feeling horrible, man. Like I'm a little thick now. I'm a little thicker than I used to be, but I was horrible. I was down probably, no joke, man. I was down 60 pounds from what I am now. I was just thin. I was in and out of the hospital. Like I said, I couldn't eat. Long story short, what it came out to was I had like a rejection, an allergy to all these medicines they were giving me. And they didn't know this until after I had a transplant, that they tested my blood again. So I'm waiting for the donor, right? So they start getting me all prepped up. And then you have to start doing all this stuff because, they tell you your insurance calls you. And luckily I had good insurance. I still do. And so they call and say, hey, look, we're going to have to start getting you through some qualifications for this bone marrow transplant. Because that's what we're deciding what you need. Nothing else is working. We need to save you. We need to get you a bone marrow transplant. It's not easy. It's not fun. And it's not going to be like, it's going to hurt. Okay. So we got to make sure you're physically, mentally prepared. And one of the things is like, look, you're going to get a bill in the mail for over $1 million. It's going to be over $1 million. Don't panic because your insurance is covering it. So I had to talk to insurance people, right? I have to go in there and I have to take my caretaker, which is my wife, in there, all these meetings with me so that we can both be on the same page of what's expected from me, what's expected from them. Man, it's everything, right? You meet with the nutritionist and what you're supposed to eat because you're going to start. So I'm going through all this like, okay, I don't know what I'm getting into. Let's just go for this, right? And the whole time I'm documenting it. That's kind of why I started all this video and vlogs and stuff. Is just I wanted to remember this because it's real life stuff, man. Like I'm thinking I'm going to die. Like I'm going to die. I don't know what the ratio is. I don't gamble. I've never gambled. I don't go to the casino and do slot machines. I don't know my odds, but I know they're not good, right? But then you think, I'm at Mayo Clinic now. They moved me over. My insurance is like, this is going to be the best place for you. Their live to death ratio is bigger than anyone else, right? You have a better chance over here. I said, all right, you hear so much good things about Mayo Clinic. Yeah, let's do it. So, dude, this is just where the story gets crazy now because I am.
Are you working? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I was working as much as I could, but then physically, like, I was just weak, man. Like, the stuff was just bad headaches, skin sores, mouth sores. Like, I was just falling apart from the side effects of all these chemo medicine. And my body was just rejecting it. We didn't know. So, no, I was working what I could. I had a lot of time off. I was in and out of the hospital. I mean, I was in and out 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time, a month at a time. I had to be in the hospital just to get me back to a good shape enough. And then here I am taking these pills again and I'm back in the hospital because of it. So here I am one more time at the hospital. It's time to start this bone marrow transplant. So checking in, dude, and it gets crazy from there. Like all right, we're going to have to put like not a port in you, but these like power probes, they call them, right? So they go directly into like your jugular here. Here I am having to poke a hole underneath my shoulder blade and then go up through my neck. Now I have these 3 little dangling connectors here from my side. So in the hospital, man, and here's how it works. The transplant's this. You started what you call like a negative day 10 or day 12. and you start working there. So for those 12, 14 days, whatever it was, you're on hard chemo, real hard chemo. They want all your numbers to go to zero, flat, right? They got to kill your immune system, because when this new immune system comes from the donor, it's taken over. It's a brand new immune system. They put it this way: if I was to commit a crime before and left blood behind versus after my transplant, it's not going to match. The blood's not the same. It's crazy, man. It's my whole stuff took over. And so throughout this 2 weeks of chemo, right, I start feeling like crap, just bad. Transplant day comes. They send over this big looking keg thing. They open it up. It's dry ice. They expedited it from Germany within 24 hours from when she donated it. They're warming it up in this water bath, wine glass chiller thing, right? And then that's it, man. I have my grandpa there, or my grandma there, my uncle there. He's a big part of his church. He's over here. He's praying for me, blessing the blood cells and everything. It's a very emotional day. My wife was there. My friend photographer, she took pictures of everything for me, for memories. And I have a good website for it. I'll send it to you so you can share it too. But it's a good story, man. You can see I wrote down every day kind of how my ups and downs, how I felt. And it was a crazy experience. I was in the hospital for almost 2 months. I had to tell them, like, look, you can't keep me here. Like, you can't. I will rip every single one of these lines out of me and I'll walk out the front door. And so, like, my wife's eyes got real big. She's like, don't say that. And so, like, they ended up letting me go home. And it was just 100 days of quarantine. I couldn't. And just physically, you can't do anything. Emotionally weak. I mean, trying to open this water bottle right here, I couldn't. I'd get mad. I'd throw it against the wall. And just from that much energy, I'd black out. Just faint, completely flat, down on the ground. My wife comes running in. I'm like, don't call the hospital. Please don't. I don't want to go back. Like, don't call him. She's in the garage calling him. Yeah, he fell. He did this. And okay, bring him in. We got to hook him up. So I'm back at the hospital for another 3 days, right? That went on and on. And like I said, now this was 2 years after diagnosis that I had the transplant, right? So now I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And so I'm sitting here on the couch, and just one day I'm just thinking, man, I'm going to die. Like, I'm not going to get through this. I'm not. And then there's something in me just says, like, no, you can't die. You can't die. You have kids. You have a wife to take care of. Like, they rely on you. You have to put this through. You have a lot of people that are counting on you. All right. So I just said, you know what? I'm not going to sit in my sweatpants anymore. I just started getting up and putting jeans on, tying my shoes for the day, combing my hair. Very little hair I had at the time, right? And yeah, man, I just said, I got to do something. So that's when I went out and I got my contractor's license to start my own company doing this stuff. Because I said, I can't let this beat me. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to fight. And the hardest thing of it was I pushed everyone out of my life. I didn't want any friends, my truck club, everyone that was real supportive, my close friends at the time. I said, don't come and visit me. Don't leave your job or work. I don't need you to come visit me. Just take care of your families and stuff. I'm going to be fine. I wish I didn't do that. I wish I would have accepted more of the support that came. And there was a couple friends. My friend Corey from California, he came out, and I knew him from a Colorado truck forum 10 years prior to this. He came out. He saw me on Facebook that I was in the hospital. He found me at Mayo Clinic. He knew that I was at Mayo Clinic. He came in my room and found me and just sat there with me for 2 hours and just talked. And here I am, man, like, weak, bald, everything. And he just came and spent his time with me that he didn't have to. And that was one of the most, like, appreciative things I did, right? People's phone calls that I got. And I met a lot of people through this. The Mayo Clinic really wants you to stay in touch and kind of help people. And I don't mind doing it now. Like, this has really changed my life. This is why I want to be a more outgoing, accepting person, warm, share the love with everyone. Like I told you, man, live life, right? Like my buddy told us, live life, because every day is not promised. I mean, in construction alone, there's so many hazards that I could die from, right? But I survived cancer. Yeah. Like, I survived it. So it's do
you think you push people away because you felt like if you accepted so much gratitude and the praise and the praying, that was like an acceptance of that I'm not going to see you again. I'm going to see you again. So I appreciate your thoughts and prayers, but what do you think it was?
No, dude, that's a good one. Like, I think it's exactly what it was. It's one of those. It's like, it's not like I'm going to see you later. Like, don't come and look at me all sad and skinny and pity. Like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to feed off that energy, because I did. Even my own family, after the hospital, after this stuff, and I'm bald. I'm bald and 125 pounds. And I'm walking around at parties. I saw a picture. I sent it to John Orwell just a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, dude, I never knew how bad I was. I really wasn't. This is the first time I seen this picture with my wife, beautiful wife, and my handsome boys. And here I am in the middle, man. I look like death. Like my skin's burned from the chemotherapy. My head is bald. I have no eyebrows. There's no color. I look green. I'm like, man, that one really, like, and that's exactly, I didn't want my friends to see me like that. I didn't want anyone. And I just, the same thing. I'm going to see you later. Just let me do my thing. But, you know, like I said, Mayo Clinic helps you keep in touch. And I met some people, and actually a friend that knew me from work at a job, 5 years prior to all this, he had a friend that was diagnosed out of nowhere randomly too. And then she's become a close friend to me now. Her name is Chelsea, and she lives in Flagstaff. But she found my blog, my website that I did when I was in there. And so she came real close. She came to me, and said, I need your help, please. What do I do? Should I be scared and stuff? We had a lot of conversations. We're real close friends now. But I remember the biggest thing she taught me, and it was something that I needed to learn for myself, right? Because we sit here and we think, why me? Why me? And so she asked me, Mike, like, what would you do? Like, I'm sitting here crying, like, why me? Why did this have to happen to me of all people? Like, I'm healthy and stuff. I said, you know what? I would ask myself the same question. I don't know why, but now I do know why. I was like, I had to go through it so that you can see me. You can see that I survived it, and you can see me, right? Like, I know now why I had to go through it, because there's someone out there waiting for you to hear your story and know that they're going to be okay and that they can get through this, right? So that was, dude, it still gives me chills thinking about it now, right? It's just, you have those moments, you do, but then it all makes sense now. We're all here for some purpose. I don't think I was here to live 80 years and pay taxes and die, right? Yeah. So it's
well, and you were mentally and physically tough enough to pull through that.
No, I was, man. Yeah. It's all mental. Like I said, from what my grandma told me, you can't be scared. Don't let the cancer defeat you, right? You're strong. You can do this. We have these healing bodies and stuff, right? So it is, man. It was a hard mental battle for sure. Really hard. Really hard.
How did it feel once you started to turn the corner?
It felt good. Like, it felt real good. Like, I overdid it a few times because I just didn't have the strength, right? Like, your body is, I asked them, it's like, so it's like being born again. It's like, no, it's like being an embryo all over again is your body, because you have this brand new immune system, right? It's never seen cancer. It's attacking. It's doing its job that it's supposed to do. It's filling you up. It's healing you. Okay, so I would outdo it. I went back. I was feeling good. Like, yeah, this is good. Little by little, as my hair would come back, I said, you know what? Like, I'm going to grow a mullet. I'm going to grow this thing real long now, because I don't want to be bald again, right? It's the same thing. You look back. If I shave my head, it gives me flashback, PTSD, man. It's like, I don't want to be there again. I've always had long hair. Dude, if you go to the website, you'll see a cool picture. Me and my kids, we all had long hair and we shaved
it up. What's the website?
It's MikeMoonbeam.com. Real easy. So Moonbeam's a nickname they gave me when I came out here, and it's just kind of stuck. It just feels right. So MikeMoonbeam.com. You can check out, I did pictures, video, vlog, all that stuff on the website, and you can see real cool. We shaved our heads. It was super emotional, man. Like, we shaved our heads. They didn't know, but they're bald little weird alien heads. Kids have it, 2 years old and stuff, man. I'm just glad I'm still here. That's the biggest thing.
And you got to meet your donor, right?
C10 Nation, what's stopping you? Well, CPP has you covered. They offer multiple different options to make the disc brake conversion as easy as possible on both you and your wallet. And I am so stoked to announce they are giving our listeners 10% off your total order. 10%. Damn, son. From stock height conversions to their Big Brake Grand Slam kit. How's your altitude? You need to get a little lower? CPP has you covered there too. They offer a wide variety of drop kits for you to choose from. Guys, take advantage of this 10% savings now. Head over to ClassicPerform.com, that's ClassicPerform.com, and use special code C10 Talk. That's C10 Talk to save big today.
Hey guys, are you thinking about swapping out your old motor for a more reliable LSLT-based power plant? We've got great news for you. PSI Conversion is offering our listeners 10% off your order. Behind each PSI harness, you get over 10 years of experience in the business, online tech support, phone support, and harnesses made in the U.S. That's psiconversion.com. And don't forget, use code C10TALK and save 10% today.
You've heard me talk about my gauges. Dakota Digital. I love them. Don't forget the interior of your build. Dakota Digital has the best gauges for our trucks. Whether you want a direct fit into the stock bezel or something custom. These kits are complete with sensors for any engine. The new RTX series is really incredible. I think it stands for retro, but it should stand for rad. They look just like the stock clusters, but have all the technology you'd expect from Dakota Digital. You can change the lighting colors, customize the reading in the message centers, and do it all from the mobile app. That's right, the HDX and RTX series have Bluetooth technology, so you can mess with them from your phone. Just don't do it while you're driving. I mean, literally, I can have Yellowstone. I'm looking at RPM, trip odometer, percent fuel, oil pressure, and now I have the GPS set up. I can tell you direction, elevation, and even outside temp. Damn, son, it's like a modern truck, but even better in a classic. Dakota Digital is absolutely the best in aftermarket gauges, so check them out at dakotadigital.com. dakotadigital.com. And you can follow them on Instagram and Facebook too.
And you got to meet your donor, right?
Not yet.
No, but
I mean,
you've figured out who it is.
Yeah, so here's the rules on that. So the donor you can't contact at all, like until 2 years after transplant. And so I guess the theory behind that is they don't want you to kind of persuade them or get mad, or your family says, hey, look, they technically clear you. You're in the clear. You're good to go after 2 years of transplant, right? Other than that, they want to watch you because that's kind of what the life expectancy is if the transplant doesn't work.
So you turn the corner, and then at that point, they still haven't said, hey, you're clear. There's 2 years. We want you cancer-free, the immune system to, do it what it needs to do for 2 years post.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So not really in the clear until then. After 2 years, they say, okay, look, let's take these testing down. Dude, I've had 21 bone marrow biopsies. Remember that little drill thing? Yeah. One time they did it by hand. Imagine screwing a screw in with the hand screwdriver into a stud. Dude, no. Yeah. So got through that. No more of that stuff for now. I go in once a year. They do blood labs and stuff. They check it out. If there's anything abnormal, they'll check it out. But no, I've been good, So in the clear, I say, hey, I want to meet my donor. Like, how do I reach out to them? So I try to say, hey, we're not getting no response back. Okay, this is 2 years. Another year goes by. Hey, I want to meet my donor. Okay, yeah, we're not getting a response back still. I'm like, oh, man, I don't know who this is going to be. So finally, it was just within, last year. It was 3.5 years. And I get this email one day. It's like, hey, here's a contact for your donor. Like, okay, this is a weird email. Like, this is the weirdest. This is letters and numbers out of sequence. Like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, is this someone's real email? So, dude, I remember the day I'm typing up an email, the subject, hey, you saved my life. And that's all I put. I say, I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you except that you were kind enough to donate and save my life. I'm very appreciative. If you would like to talk to me, here's my contact info. Dude, I got an email within like an hour back. And it was, hi, my name is Frauk, and I'm in Germany. And dude, it was crazy. Within the same day, he found me on Facebook and Instagram. And here I am now talking to my donor. And dude, she's just the cutest redhead German. And she's just so nice. She got 2 kids herself, a boy and a girl, a cool husband and stuff. And, this is all kind of within when the COVID hit and we can't really travel. And I would love to go to Germany to meet her, but it's just, she can't really, it's just stuff's too crazy over there. But man, we try to talk. And what's cool is she just actually hit me up on Monday, yesterday. And she's doing an interview over there. Someone kind of liked their story of us too. So they're going to be interviewing her and then doing a Zoom meeting with me to kind of hear our story, man. But no, it's so cool, man. Things have been going so good. So good.
Yeah, and just to think that she went in one time and, she did the swab.
Yeah. Got through her holiday.
She got through her holiday. She saved a life, and to know that, and then for you to reach out, because I think that's a positive thing, right? Where if you were the guy on the other end, or, in this case, the girl, you're the person. And I mean, how positive that is. And it's those stories. And to think that she was a match, this little redheaded cute girl from Germany matches, this kid from Cali.
Yeah, right.
And saved your life. And that's what it's all about. It's
cool,
powerful.
man. We have that now. It's just a bond that is just, we've never met each other, but I feel like I've known her forever. And even my friend Chelsea too, that I met, that really changed my life.
And how's Chelsea doing?
No, she's doing great. She's doing really great.
And she got a match,
amazing.
or did she ever get?
No, she got a match, and her match, she's post 2 years now, also 3 years going on, and she said her donor didn't want to be contacted. So it's it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's what people want, and I got lucky. I got a super cool donor that would just, anyone that's a donor though, man. I mean, that's just the most unselfish thing you can do. Is just to do that, and it's hard. I know it's hard. So I don't know the exact extraction process of it. It's nothing too invasive where they got to drill you. It's kind of something like a dialysis machine is what they've told me. Kind of takes the stuff in. It's not a plasma, it's not the blood, it's the bone marrow, it's the stem cells that are in your body that come over.
I want to say my friend who did it, whose son had it, and then he became a coworker in the fire department, good friend of mine. I think they go in I want to say his tibia, and he
probably
said,
there is some evasive.
He said that
ways.
did hurt, but obviously to save a life, it's it's worth it. So
I said, man, yeah, I guess there's a couple different ways to what do they say? Skin a cat. There it is, man.
So let's go back. You talked about Moonbeam, and obviously your cancer survivor is, that's the number one thing, and that's just the best
cool
story of this whole thing. And then you have this truck as long, and then going through it. Go back to Moonbeam. How'd that come from?
Moonbeam's crazy, man. So like I said, I when I moved from California, I was in a club called Sunset, right? So I'm over here hanging out, cruise to the Pines. 12 years ago, something like that. We're hanging out in the parking lot at night, and my buddy Brett Taylor, I've known him for years, and you needed a new nickname or something. We got too many mics here, and I was like, well, what do they call you? I was like, my family calls me Hot Dog. That's another nickname. I don't know where Hot Dog came from. I really don't. Everyone on my mom's side, the kids, the nieces, nephews, they all call me Uncle Hot Dog, and it's just a name that stuck. So he's like, no, that's dumb. I'm not going to call you Hot Dog around here, man. You're not a wiener. And I was like, no. So, well, you got to be something opposite. If you love Sunset, you need to moon something. You kind of hippie with your hair and your lifestyle. You're Moonbeam now. So that kind of name stuck, man. And it's just a cool name for people. Kind of fits. I'm a Cancer zodiac sign. I'm a moon child anyway. So it all kind of fits. And I just based everything moon now around my life, and it just kind of fit, right?
You kind of are hippie. You kind of have that persona, really, which is actually I think is a cool thing. I think
cool, huh?
You are pretty chill. And to think, because you have a new outlook on life. Do you think that changed? Like, I mean, I know that changed you, right?
Yeah.
But how was pre-cancer leukemia, 29 and younger Mike?
I was a little while. I was a little wild back then.
You thought you were going to die before 30.
I did. And so I just thought I was going to die from just a wild lifestyle.
Do you think that was the hot dog? You were showing off. You were, hot dog, hot diggity dog.
Every day, wildin' styling, profiling. Just, yeah, man. No, just, I was crazy. My wife and my story is nuts. We met in high school, but, I was all over the place.
Now, was here, or did you go to high school?
No, the high school. I went to high school here over in Westside, Millennium High School. Okay. I graduated, and we went to school there, met in Spanish class, believe it or not. So we
she had no idea what
she had no idea. So like we could kind of talk, we kind of flirted. I was too chicken to ask her out in high school, never did. She had a boyfriend, I had another girlfriend at the time. I moved back after California, Cal State Fullerton, couple years, reconnected. I was still too wild, wasn't ready to settle down. I wanted to work at the bar, I wanted to work at the framing company. I was spending money on my Colorado and whatever else I could buy. So no, she left me again, and then she I just kind of said after a year, said, what, I can't do this no more. I want to settle down. I want to be with someone. So yeah, I mean, that was it. I mean,
so you stayed in contact with this girl the whole time, right?
Oh,
so
yeah. I've always been
really
since high school.
Cool.
Yeah, we've always been, AOL Instant Messenger in ninth grade.
Mail.
Yeah, you got mail. So then it's we stayed in touch, and it was just one of those persons that you just didn't want to get rid of. So no, she's super cool. She lets me do all this truck stuff, right? I'd never get an angry call from her. Where are you at? What are you doing? She knows I'm just hanging out with all the dudes. What do you think we're doing, man? We're talking about trucks, and we're over here just doing whatever stupid shit we can do.
It's the same recipe, babe.
That's it. Same recipe.
But I love it.
Check my location. Come down here. There's a bunch of dudes. So no, it's No, she's cool, man. Like, she just knows it's a good balance, right? It's a balance of trucks, a balance of family. It's a, I just know.
So you settle down anyway because you're going to be 30. You're going to settle down a little bit, and then your life changes completely. So what would you say is the biggest thing that you just #live life, or, what would you say, maybe from an advice perspective to the listener out there, what's the biggest change that you've kind of looked at?
My biggest thing is just try to, like I said, live life. I mean, that's it's a good one, but my biggest thing is just enjoy what you do every day. Like, that's what I tell people. I don't enjoy it when a friend or someone tells me they don't, they're my job is today, this and that. Like, hey man, like, you got to enjoy your life. Like, you find something you want. It's a good economy right now, right? So, my biggest thing is, enjoy yourself, right? Just make people smile. That's my biggest thing. I want people just to laugh. I want people to have a good day. I want everyone to get home safe every day. But my biggest thing, man, is live life's a good one for sure. I'll come back to that one. I'm gonna stick with that one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good one, man. I mean, that's my advice to anyone. It's like, don't be afraid, like, to try anything that you've always wanted to. Set a goal. That's my biggest thing, right? I wanted to be my own business owner. I wanted to have a framing company. I wanted to carry on this legacy of my family, right? And what did I have if I would have died? Nothing. I was an employee for my grandpa, right? I mean, not that that's a bad thing, but I was just an employee. What was I going to leave my wife and kids with? What was my legacy behind me, right? So take that leap, man. Jump. If you want to do something, then do it. Like, learn a new skill. Do something.
Yeah, I love it. Take the leap, because you could get a phone call tomorrow.
Yeah.
Changing everything.
It is, man. You never know what's going to happen. And, I saw, I'm a big guy for memes, whether they're funny or the little quote ones and stuff. And I saw one where what it feels like. And it's like, imagine a gun in the back of your neck, right? And you don't know when the trigger is going to be pulled or nothing, right? And that's kind of how I feel about the cancer sometimes. It's still sitting back there. It can come back at any time. I don't know. It can come back today. I could leave here and I get a phone call. Hey, come to the hospital. We need to check something out. And maybe I wouldn't make it through the next one, right? So it's like, I just want to make sure everything's set for my wife, for my kids, for my friends. I don't want anyone to miss me. I do, but I don't want to leave. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to have to not ask about me, oh man, I wish Mike was here.
Yeah.
So it's just, just enjoy it, dude. I love this kind of stuff. I love experiences.
Well, I think that's part of what makes life.
It does.
Is I look at people who don't have the hanging out with the dudes, check my, my location. Right. We're very blessed that way, because we have a great group of people, and really, in the truck community, we've got so many different groups that all come together, and everybody gets along, and we have ambassadors like yourself who can, preach that good word and say, hey, don't be afraid, live life and enjoy it. Let's all get together. Let's break bread. Let's hang out. And this truck community is really...
The truck community is, dude, it's like, even the guys that you think are the big, like when you say call me an ambassador and stuff, I appreciate that, because I want people to come in. I like people to have the fun that we do, right? But there's just some cool guys, man. Like, some really cool guys. Like, Dino is the coolest. Like, it's not a show. It's not a face. Like, I have a lot of respect for him, though. At one of his get downs, dude. So this truck, right? This truck is a big part of my life, and it's always been my motivation. Like, I got to finish this truck. I got to do something. I want to feel better. I feel better working on it. I'm not sitting at home in bed. Let's go work on it. All the times that I was sick, I drove this thing to one of those C10 Arizona Club meets up in Casa Grande. We met the Tucson guys halfway. But I drove this thing. I barely had a floor tacked back in. I duct taped the stuff so I don't get exhaust fumes inside. I was weak. I was still bald, right? Met a couple guys there. Met Joey Gons there that day. He's another cool guy, dude. Coming back to Dino, I have all this stuff. I show up at Dino's Get Down that year, right? I don't look good still. I still don't have my hair back all the way. I'm still skinny guy. I get my truck there. I want it. Dino, he sees me pull in. He waves me, just tells me, point it over there. I said, cool, man. He doesn't know who I am. Get me a cool spot. I'm up here with the cool guys. He cruises by later. I'm sitting off. Like, I'm nowhere in looking distance.
Is this at the shop?
No, this is at Dino's at Big Surf.
Okay, so the first year at Big Surf. Okay, yeah. So 1 year at Big Surf.
1 year at Big Surf. And I'm sitting over off to the side, just sitting there, just kind of resting. I'm a little exhausted and stuff. And he looks over. Mike. What? He knows my name. Dude, hey, what's up, man? Dude, coolest guy. He says, how are you feeling? I'm like, dude, I almost cried. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you. Dude, I've met him once or twice before that, maybe in passing. But for him to know and to remember and know what I just been through and what I did, dude, he's one of the coolest guys.
Yeah.
He doesn't forget a name. Dude, he's so cool. And same with Joey. When I met Joey there in that Tucson meet, I went out to that Brothers show one year, a couple of years ago when my truck was done. Didn't know any of the California guys. Didn't know many of the guys, right? Knew you a little bit. The guys you hang out with, Goose, I had just met him just only because my cousin worked with him at the fire station. So, Joey brings me over. Mike, how you doing? Dude, it's so welcoming. Everyone's so well. And when I see that and remember that, like all these new guys coming in, the guys that see us, the guys that like our posts and like our stuff and comment, like when they meet me in person, dude, like I want to exchange that same welcoming that I had coming in. You know what I mean?
And that's so important. And I think I love to hear that you say that because it goes two ways, right? We need to make sure we continue that and make that feeling for those new people. And then for you guys out there that are new people, wherever you are, just get out, get in your truck, and go to an event. Even if you don't have a truck, it's okay. Go to an event. You're going to meet somebody. And honestly, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to meet friends for life, right? Like you'll meet some of these guys that you end up, becoming really good friends with these people. And in a story of life itself and how it can be taken, it's a pretty good run here when you think about what we have in this community. So, it's just, it's like those memes. You talk about those memes. It's like my wife took me to her Christmas party. I had a freaking shitty time. I'm sitting there in the corner and then some dude walks in with a C10 hat or a Chevy truck. And you're like, you like trucks? Yeah, I like trucks. Dude, this is the best party. So you finally meet some people, you're hanging out and you're having a good time and you meet Dino, you meet Joey, you meet all these different people. And again, we're blessed and we're
some of the coolest.
And you're the next guy.
Man.
You're that ambassador. You're that guy who really has kind of gotten out of your shell. You're doing some stuff with Grindr. You've got the mic. It's fun to watch, and you're having fun doing it.
It is,
and it's contagious.
It's so much fun. When so in the construction, I just started buying gadgets. I like technology stuff, so I got a drone. I started getting some cameras and stuff to take different videos and pictures to remember stuff. So that's kind of when I hit up Brian a couple of years ago. And I said, hey, man, like I got a bunch of this footage. I don't know what to do with it. It just sits on my cameras. Like, you want to start doing stuff with it? Can I help you with this stuff? Like, yeah, that'd be cool. So we just started tossing ideas off of. Our biggest thing we did together was the LST trip where I kind of did, all right, Brian's already out there. He's going to get all them setting up. He wants me to kind of film the trap over there. Okay, let's do it. Let's come out of your shell a little bit. Let's kind of give the people, because this is stuff I would want to watch, man. I'm a big YouTube guy. I love watching YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. When people say, I don't got nothing to watch, like, no, search something, anything on YouTube. You can find some cool stuff. I learn a lot, but I like watching it. Especially I like Brian's videos and the way he edits, and we're cool. We get along really good. So yeah, we hit that off, and that was a big hit. And I got a lot of good praise back from that. And a lot of people that I met, right, really connected more with you in there, Sal, Rob, all the cool guys that I've been watching and seeing. And it's like, no, these guys are so cool, man. So welcoming, just a good group of guys. I mean, how many times did we stop on that trip, dude? Helping people, dude. So,
well, and then the trip turns into the story and the fun.
Dude.
And that's what's so fun about, I look back at Brian covering, the first Eastbound and Down to the Throwdown. Mm-hmm. And you look back over 5+ years ago and you think, the journey, right, and the tires and the trailers, and at one point where Edgar from Swanky Life he's giving me shit, and then we go to the next stop and I'm giving him shit because I'm like, whoa, dude, Karma's on the phone, call for Swanky.
It's the
right,
best,
and
man.
so that ends up when you get home, you're like, hey, how was the truck show? And you're like, I was pretty good, right? I got to see some guys, and you're like, okay, how was the journey? And you're like, the journey, the journey,
dude.
Right? It's always so funny about that journey, and not to be cheesy on the tie in there, but your journey, right? So you look at your own little timeline and we talk about it, unfortunately we've been to funerals, both of us, and I've spoke at funerals, and you talk about that dash in between, those numbers, and that's your journey. And we get to have so much fun when we do that on truck shows. For this year, LST, Brothers, we went out to Brothers, the Intervention, Dino. So you've definitely grabbed a hold of it, and you're making the rounds, and it's
man.
So much fun.
And just sharing my experiences. It's what it is. I mean, I'm there. I have the stuff. I want people to see it. And I know that Brian has that good avenue in the amount of followers and the stuff that he has and the quality of his edits and stuff too. I mean, it's good stuff people want to watch.
But you're having fun doing it.
I'm having fun, dude. I'm having fun. You know, I'm on these things. You know, I get, like I said, my wife's super cool. I get to go on these trips. You know, I'm gone for a week at a time. But when I come back, I'm just, man, babe, I missed you. We could do without trucks for 2 weeks. That's cool. Like, let's just recoup. Because, I mean, the journey, man, the hanging out with the
LST,
friends.
that's people don't realize that's literally a week for us.
Oh, dude, that's a wild road too, man. So yeah, that's I remember getting back from there at like 1 o'clock in the morning after you know, cruising with Provost guys and dropping them off at the hotel in Glendale, and then taking the 10-minute drive home, just like reflecting. Man, getting home and just wow. Like, dude, LST was an emotional trip for me, man. Like, you know, so that was the real first big show besides Cruise of the Pine, but that's my club show. You know, it's whatever. I don't win trophies. I don't get, you know, it's not about us. It's about the other cars showing up. So you go to LST and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm pumped. No one's seen my truck now. I have the bed. I have the bumpers. I have the interior. This thing's bad, dude. I want to show it off. The drive is fun, dude. Okay, we get there, dude. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, straight up, I didn't win any trophies, and it kind of got to me in my head. Like, I was bummed. Like, I was so bummed. Like, I was just building up with so much emotion, just like, dude, does no one like my stuff? Like, what is it? You know, and then I think back, and then John Oro hits me up right as we're leaving, dude. We're coming back through El Chuco. We stop one more time at a Pablo's place over there, and he's like, hey, Mike, I want to tell you something. It's been really good meeting you. You know, there's one person every year that kind of stands out on this trip. Like, and it's someone that's unforgettable in the memories and stuff that they make. And I really feel like that person's you this year. And dude, like, I was like, dude, that just changed the whole trip for me right there. Like, you know what? Forget the trophies, forget the attention that I feel I didn't get, but I did. You know, later on, I'm getting tagged in all this stuff. But it's just like, dude, when the time I got home and just like didn't see my wife for 8 days almost, and I just get home and my son's waiting up for me, and like, I just get there, I just like drop my bags off and just like lay on the bed, and I'm just crying, just like, dude. What a trip. What just a mix of emotions the whole time. Dude, we laughed, we cried, we freaking, you know, got drunk at some point, I think. And dude, but no, that trip was cool. I mean, but that's the thing. It's the experience. It's the journey for sure, man. And it's just all these just milestones and these bucket list check off things that I've been doing in my life.
Well, I think I like to hear the point too, where you talk about winning and being noticed with your hard work, right? That's what I love about this pod is you can, even if that truck won an award that day, okay, you won an award, and it's like, okay, they can't put this whole journey, and then to hear when you think about it, I didn't win a trophy, but I got a guy by the name of John Oro, who's really, he's the man, right?
Oh yeah.
And he gave me the trophy I needed. I guess that I'm here where I need to be doing what I need to be doing. I'm the guy on this trip,
right.
and well, my favorite part was where you caught the belt, right? Where the belt.
Oh, dude, was that classic, dude?
So there's so many little things. If Mike wasn't there and part of that, so you have a piece of the puzzle. You're part of that puzzle, right. And I think in society, in our world, that's a good feeling. That's a great feeling to know, like, I'm part of this puzzle. I need to be here, and I'm here.
Everyone likes being appreciated and hearing it and stuff too. And then when you really realize it too, like I said, dude, you hit the nail on the head. That's a trophy I really wanted. That's the one, you know, just hearing those
and you don't
words.
Think about it, right?
No.
And sometimes I think we think, well, I didn't win that trophy that day, right? Well, then you look back a year later, which we're coming up on it. It's you know, it's 2 months away, and you're like, did I get the trophy? I didn't get the actual piece of metal, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't trade it for what I did get. You know, what I did get for what I did. And I drove my truck. I made the journey. I made friends, just because you go on these journeys and you meet people and then you're like, I didn't even know this guy. And you kind of go through a little, you know, you go through some trials and tribulations and you go through some different highs and lows. And then you find out, well, dude, this guy's I love this guy. Or, you know what, maybe I don't like this guy, or however it kind of works out. And that is what's
it
crazy.
Is super cool, man. And like you said, I do like this podcast. I listen to it a lot, and you know, hearing the guys, and you know, I prefer, I say prefer, but I favor the Stepside guys for sure, just because I know it's the same stuff. We're our step brothers, right? So it's you know, I listened to the Matt Elliott one, the Cody Castles one and stuff, dude, and just hearing those guys and their stories. It's cool, man. We all have the same story. I
like that. I don't know that I've ever even thought about, like, hey, the steppers, they kind of, you know, they're definitely
they're different, dude, where there's not as many, you know, you see them. And then when you see some badass ones, you're like, oh, dude.
Well, and let's talk about yours, right? So one of the questions that I have is nobody else has ever done what you've done, right? You've taken a dually aspect to and or narrowing a step side truck. For the audience, you're starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together. You're like, oh, the Poised Hipster truck. Okay. So you decide, hey, instead of just keeping a normal stepper, I'm going to take fleet side bed sides. I'm going to put them on as, the inner bed, and then I'm going to use and lower, right? Because that's always the big thing where guys have to really lower those down, just like Matt talked about, because the stepper is always higher.
Yeah. And you want that. You want to be as low as you can, right? You want to be laying as flat as possible. So that's the step sides they never do. They kind of sit up that 4 or 5 inches there off from the rocker and the front and stuff. So so it's been done before. I have seen a picture of, there was a black truck. It wasn't really anything crazy custom, but someone did do something similar before. I never saw the picture until after we finished it.
Okay.
But a lot of people have had the idea. And so it started off with another guy in our club. He's like, hey, yeah, we had this idea one time. And I was like, oh, I like that. So he drew it up on Microsoft Paint, right? Just a couple lines, traced it all out. And it was a pretty good rendering. And I kept looking. I was like, dude, I like the way this looks. Like, we got to do that. I looked everywhere. I couldn't find it. So I made some phone calls to my buddy Brad Raff in the club. He said, hey, you should hit up Cisco. Cisco's out here. Hit him up. He seemed like the right kind of guy to do it. I said, yeah, man. I've been watching Brandon Cisco since I was a younger kid, growing up, first in the mini truck scene. That guy's amazing with metal. And then Bob Grant also, those two guys alone right there can do some cool stuff. So I hit him up and I was like, oh man, I'm nervous, man. Like, I don't know if this guy's going to be interested in it. He goes, oh, I've been having the same similar idea forever, man. Yeah, I would love to do one before I do mine. I was like, let's do it, dude. So I hit him up. I was lucky enough to get him. He knocked out the bed for me. Dude, it's just, that guy's got some mad skills. And if you check my Instagram page, the Poised Hipster page, it's on there start to finish.
And I think he was here at the time,
He was here at the time. Yeah. It was, he was, he's a traveler. He's a rambler, dude. But, so he took it over there. We had the idea. I ordered. Dude, this was hard to find pieces too. I had to track down some pieces local for some fleet side bed panels. I ordered the header panel, the bed floor, and the tailgate, all from what's the orange truck and car parts over there in California. Now my real dad, right? He lives out there. He picked them up for me, brought them out here, and I just took a bunch of pieces in the truck to Brandon. And dude, he worked his magic on it, dude. Just he ended up narrowing like 22 inches out of the header panel, like 20 inches out of the tailgate. Kept the Chevrolet riding there on the tailgate. It fit in there, dude. And just the way these guys chop them up, it's crazy. It's not the stuff you would think of, right? Like, oh, I would just make a straight cut here, but he's making kind of angled cuts back around, bringing it down. And yeah, he ended up narrowing it all. So it's the same exact inside diameter of dimensions of any regular step side. I mean, it's the same thing. The fender's flush now. You get the body line from front to back. So on the step, we brought it down 4 inches, and then the front panel too, because on a fleet side truck, the back end of the bed isn't flat on the ground, right? It kind of has that kind of taper back up in the back. So he only extended and dropped the front portion in front of the fender of the back, if that makes sense, right? You got to look at the pictures and see. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff in there. So
cool. It's cool because I like how you went back and you talked about like when Jack took you to the first time that you could buy this hood, and now you end up like buying parts, and you're like, okay, I did this whole thing, and it was all kind of part of the journey.
LMC? It all started with J.C. Whitney online. And I was like, dude, what is J.C. Whitney's
Pep Boys in the catalog?
Yeah, dude. So that was the first thing. I remember getting the LMC catalog. Just like I said, I've been building this thing forever. So ordering stuff on the phone before I had real good internet and stuff, dude. It's just crazy what's available. So we started getting these pieces and watching him do his magic, dude. He tubbed the inside for me. He did the whole engine bay panels. He started them for me. Like I said, that was what I like to call like a hipster version 2.0, right? We're on like 4 or 5.0.
Now, did you do it? Did you name it hipster because of the hips?
Yeah, no, I did. Okay. Yeah. So I had a step side, right? And I took it to a local car show, Severtized car show over here many years ago. And it was just, just stock, but just laid out on the new frame, new wheels and everything. And I named it. I said, I need a name. I don't want a bunch of people following my personal page. They don't want to see me with my kids and the goofy stuff that I do. So I'm just going to start an Instagram page. I said, I need a name for it though. Like what? Stepper 76 or something. And I was like, you gotta do something with the hips. I was like, well, what's with the hips or something like?
Well, and really the word was just like, that was kind of a new word for us back
then. It was
then.
a new word.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
What's a hipster?
I was like, oh, a hipster, man. Yeah. And then the poised is just from perfect poise. It's just, we all have it. Poised Ernie, poised whatever, 24-inch wheel truck, whatever they call it. But
I think that it goes so well because it's like, it's the, oh, he's the hipster. Oh, but he's the poised hipster.
And I played around with it, right? I was like, well, dude, like, I got to carry this hipster vibe through this whole thing now. So, well, you know, what kind of interior do I get? Started seeing the plaid fabrics people were getting, found them on SMS. I was like, I want some wild stuff no one has. I want that blue Porsche stuff right there. Give me that. Let's base everything else around that. Then it's just, dude, from going to shows, from lowrider shows, mini truck shows, classic car shows. I've been to a lot of shows now. And so I've seen stuff like, oh, when I do my truck, I'm going to have this like this. I want to change that. So I scanned my fabric, had it printed out on vinyl sheets. I wrapped my air tanks. All my shocks are wrapped to match my interior vinyl. You know, it looks cool. People come up like, oh, I didn't see his air tanks underneath there. It's a plaid. They match his interior. Are those hand painted? No, they're vinyl wrapped, but it looks pretty cool, man. It's just the details that pop it off, right? I wanted the truck to be the truck Chevy should have made, right? They moved on to the OBS. The OBS step sides still have that same fleet side on there. They got lazy before, I feel. What years of trucks had that same box bed with different fenders on it for sure?
Well, and really square bodies, they did. I mean, we know they got lazy, right?
Oh,
they milked that thing, you know, whether it was the economy or they didn't want it. But think about a run of a truck that lasts as long as from 73 to 87, really even to 91. I remember going to Matador's birthday party, which is like January 8th. And that's where I first got to where we had seen it and seen the page and followed it. But I feel like that was where it was like, dude, this truck it's done now. Like he's pretty much the wheels, the lights, the stance. So at that point, I mean, that truck was beyond outclassing pretty much everything else at that show that day.
Thank you.
And now that's a fun little birthday get together. I know, is it another Mike? Yeah, it is another Mike. It's, he has the unibody, Seth's buddy, the Ford.
Oh yeah.
He was there, and I was
Mike Porter.
Mike Porter, and you guys had the lights, right? And I was like, okay, so your wheels, your lights, it didn't stop just with the interior and the Porsche and then all the little things. But I think now that people will see it more, so when you do go to a show, let's say you take it to an LST again, it's weird. It's like, well, I didn't win it this year, but now you'll start to it's where the more you see something, you're more comfortable with it.
Right.
And then you like it more because you see what somebody else has done.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about LST. I would say if there's a knock on LST, the way they judge, which, you know, you pull up and some dude's looking at it, and you're like, how the fuck did they judge it that fast? Like, you're like, how did you judge my truck? But they tend to do it. So going back to the first time where I really got to look it over before we went to LST, which was at Matador's, there's more than just a quick 2 minutes that you're going to look at the Poised Hipster.
There's a lot of stuff. It's funny. I'm not a guy that'll hang around my truck at a show. Like I get nervous around people. Like as much as you don't think I do. Like when I do these video things for Grindr, I got to hype myself up. I'm like, come on. Get in this persona, get the people.
I'm gonna start hyping you up.
Hype me up, dude. I love it. I feel for the hype. I need a good hype man. But no, it's I don't hang out by my truck. But I do like watching people, right? I just kind of like listen, and I don't really fit the vibe of someone that would own a truck like that. I don't think half the time. So they don't like, oh, this is your truck. But the biggest thing people do is they walk up, right, and they have their hands out, and they'll be talking to someone. I can just see them. They just do the same thing. They have their hands out, bring them in, bring them out, bring them in.
Oh, that's cool.
Then they're just telling them, like, yeah, I know the conversation. It's, he took a fleet side bed, and look, he narrowed it, right? His hands are moving. He narrowed it, dude. And it's cool. It's cool to watch. And people, you could tell, like, people will walk by it, and that's cool. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to look stock, just a laid out stock truck. But then people come in like, what is that tailgate?
Wait a minute.
Like, no, that's custom. There ain't another one like it. It's tiny. Yeah, it's cool, huh? Dude, you fold it down and it says hipster in the back. Yeah, Brandon Bede rolled that for me. You know, he started the bumpers for me, then he had opportunities to take off, and so he didn't get to finish them. I took him over to Tray 5 when I was kind of going through the version 4.0 remodel of this thing. Had Tray 5, Jeremy, Payo fix up the bumpers, mount them, then back over to Frank. Dude, Frank's been my buddy. Dude, killer painter, eye candy paint, dude. All those guys, I've known those guys a while. And Jeremy, I've known a long time. I've known him since the mini truck stuff. You know, we were hanging out on the wall when they were calling me Hot Dog Mike and stuff, right? So I've known him when he was in his garage, moved out, and dude, he's just a good guy. He's a good friend of mine. So when he was there, and then I met Frank through Jeremy being next door. And now Frank's just one of those guys, dude, lifetime friends, right? And it's more than just a customer relationship at this point now, right? Like we're in a group chat. We text all the time. I'm trying to get him into golfing more and stuff, dude. So it's fun. But no, he knocked out the paint and body, and that's how it all kind of came together. So those bumpers, LST, dude, back to LST trip. I told you this is a big trip. I was dragging it the whole time around there on the freeway. Burnouts at Martin Brothers, dude. That was came back. There was freeze plugs leaking. I had to warranty my motor through the engine builder and stuff.
Shit, I didn't know that.
It was crazy. No, they hadn't been broken in, and then I was driving at 90 miles per hour for 800 miles, dude. Yeah, I had to tow it back. So got it all fixed up.
Well, I remember, so remember the little, so we got to get into the go-karts, but you took the go-kart off.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we took the go-kart off the first time, I think, for Goldie.
Yep.
Right? That was kind of the funny thing where we had the golf cart on there. You had it like it was like the show vehicle. Yeah. Okay, so here I gotta get to a few of them here. Right, so what about your grandpa? What does he think about your truck?
I don't think he's really seen it, man. Like I'm scared to show him. He's gonna be mad at me how much money I spent on a car.
But he doesn't need to know how much money.
No, I know. I don't know, dude. I got to take it to him. I'll let you know. Stand by for that one.
So what about your mom? So your mom...
Oh, my mom loves it.
Okay.
Right? She loves it. It's a tribute to Jack. So here's the funny thing. You ever read my license plate? You know what my license plate says? It says, sorry, Dad.
Okay.
Okay? Because people ask me, they say, oh, this is cool. This was your dad's truck. Man, I'm sorry for his loss, but you know, if he was here, you think you're like, no, man, no. My first car was a slammed Mercedes, right? And he used to give me crap for driving with the AC full blast, windows down, big system bumping. Then I had some lowered trucks, and he's like, Mike, your S10, you can't haul nothing like that. That's not a truck no more. He's one of those guys, class.
Yeah.
Him and his buddies, they had these old C10s they drive around. This was right, the truck before, when I got it, had the diamond plate front and back bumper on it.
Gotta have that.
He's like, oh yeah, we'd hit each other in traffic and rear end each other and be like, F you, man. And I'd be like, dude. So no, people come back like, oh, he'd love it. No, he'd be mad. He'd say, Mike, you ruined the truck.
You ruined it.
So that's why I put on there. I put sorry, Dad. You know, it's a nice little poke at it.
I wouldn't even think your mom would like that.
My mom likes it. She's funny, dude. Yeah. She loves it. She's not too high tech on the social media, so she does have it, and she'll tell guys at work or stuff. Like she does AC dispatch, so the guys at work or everyone's in the cars or something. She'll like, oh, here's my son's truck. So then I get followers, and I get these guys going to shows. Well,
I wonder even too if people have seen it and they're like, oh shit, that's your son's truck.
Some people, yeah.
One of the questions I wanted you talking about the hands going in and out. Do you ever see somebody where they're walking and they're like, okay, they're kind of discounted as just a white stepper, and then all of a sudden just stops them in their track when they see the bedside.
Oh yeah, when they walk around to the back, they'll
like,
see
wait
it. Kind of do a double take.
Damn,
and I try to find steppers to park next to on purpose. And I'm like, all right, you guys got to see the comparison here.
Yeah,
look at these things, right? And they're like, yeah, I definitely get that, dude. It's cool. People have been following me now for almost 10 years on this page I started and stuff. Whatever, it's been 8 years, and it's I get people to come up all the time like, dude, it looks so good, dude. That new stereo Provost did look so good.
We got to talk
those
about
bumpers,
that.
Those
so you just got it
so
back
good.
for about a month ago?
I got it back at Dino's, yeah.
Okay, so you got it back at Dino's. You took it up when we went to the intervention.
No, I took it to Brothers. We went to Brothers.
Okay, yeah, Brothers.
Trailered it to Brothers. And then I told him, hey, can you guys fix up my audio? Like, don't get me wrong, it was a good stereo system. My buddy Tanner Rydell did it, and he does awesome work. But it's like, you know what? I just want something a little more. He's busy and stuff right now. I'm going to be at Brothers. You guys mind taking it up? I'll pick it up at intervention. Cool, yeah, let's do it. Sean drove it all the way, dude. It was awesome. I loved hearing that. The truck made it from what, Long Beach to Sacramento, whatever it was. Drove it up there, and I said, just do whatever you want. I want some new kick panels. Okay. Well, they ripped everything out. They did whatever they want. I was like, okay. This is good. I overthought myself, but I said do whatever you want. But do whatever you want. It's still cool. So all new JL, dude, Dennis, Rick, those guys are just crazy good with stuff in there, dude. Like it's all high tech. It's you plug a laptop in to do all the tuning and stuff. I've never had nothing like this.
Yeah, big beats, right? That's their thing. Big beats,
dude. New dash, center channel, high quality, JL audio, Morale speakers. Even crazy stuff that they don't have butt connectors. The whole kick panel plugs in with these 3D printed Deutsch connectors with 19 pins or something. Everything comes out at once. The LEDs, the components, every single speaker. It's one plug, right? It's those guys are doing some cool stuff, dude. I mean, the guys that are just crazy with this the scene is pushing and evolving, and the steps that people were pushing, and the bar continually being raised.
And like
and
you
stuff.
said, you didn't even think you were happy. You were pretty content with what you had, and then you're like, okay, maybe like 2 levels higher, and now you're like 10 levels higher.
Yeah, and I'm like, dang, this is awesome.
Damn, son. So is that the last? Is that it?
I think it's it, man.
Done?
I'm pretty much good now. Like I am. You know, it doesn't have a LS. Not that it's crazy, but it's still got a race 350 that I crate motor. It's 300 horsepower to the wheels. I mean, I don't even drive the thing. I don't need, nothing too crazy anyways. But no, I think I'm pretty much good. The lights, the stereo, all that stuff was just something I wanted, just because car shows now are leading into night, especially Arizona. Summertime, you don't have no daytime shows. You want to be at night. You want to stand out. You want people to see your stuff. So when you show up and you're, lights and good music and cool car and, dude, I like it, man.
Yeah, I like that vibe. It kind of, I never really thought about it, but it's white. And then there was a picture from the intervention of you cruising with your lights at night.
Oh, it was a bad dude.
And I love that picture. And I've never even thought about it until just right now, it's kind of a moonbeam.
No, dude, it is.
The truck
thing,
itself
dude.
is a big moon, and then you've got your lights, and they're kind of, at least in this picture, I think they're always, I don't know if they change, because I always see them, they're blue.
Yeah, like I could change them.
So I always see them like as a light blue, it seems like.
Yeah.
And you're rolling, and it really has
That's
a cool vibe.
It wants to pop out, right? I want to be different. It's the mini trucker thing in me I grew up in. Everyone is, you want to be
Dude, you're such a hot dog.
I'm such a hot dog, dude. No, but I want to stand out. So the lights, the wheels that I got, I wanted different wheels. I never had crazy cool 3-piece custom cut wheels to what I wanted. Ordered some crazy wheels on it, and yeah, dude, it just really sets it off. I got the big sticker in the back, car clubs. We take our logo, then we can kind of change it however we want. So I threw a Falcor on there from Never Ending Story. That's kind of my spirit animal, right? Just a luck dragon flying through the universe, man. Yeah. That's just me. Just seeing what we come across and what kind of cool stuff we get to experience.
So let's jump into this real quick, because I got a jet.
No, I know. Let's jump in.
Well, let's jump into go-karts. So one of the things that I think you are kind of known for is your little white step-side truck that you have.
Yeah.
Right? So it sounds like you're going to be kind of, if guys out there want one of those.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely, there's been some interest. So, when you see an interest in stuff and it's something that I'm interested in, it's cool. And I have my kids. So I started finding these go-kart bodies. I got one in a trade out through Cisco. Then we found some more on OfferUp and Craigslist, and I just keep finding them. So then I said, you know what? Like, we need to make some cool ones. Like, they're hard to find. People ask me all the time. I did the one for my son. I matched it. I wrapped the interior. Whatever fab skills I know how to do in my garage with my welder. Yeah. So it's turning into a thing. I got a couple bodies I found. I had them all 3D scanned. Working on making some new body styles. I'm trying to release this whole little thing to do complete chassis, complete bodies, rolling, running stuff. Like I said, I'm not trying to get rich off it. I just want to see people enjoy it, because I see the smile on my son's face. I see the smile on grown men's face, right? You saw Jeremy driving it around at the intervention. Big dude, over 6 feet, driving this thing with the big old grin on his face, dude, and just loving it. So no, I'm trying to push that. Kart Cartel. When I'm finding kind of play on words and stuff,
that's it. Cartel.
Cartel. Cart with the K.
Okay.
Cartel with the K, dude. So yeah, just something new I started.
Did you already make a page?
Yeah, I made a page.
Okay.
I got a bunch of stuff on there, some info. Email me. I'm just trying to work on sourcing stuff right now. I'm trying to just get some quality chassis. I'm not trying to put out junk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something I would want to be proud of, something that I don't want people to come back to me and say, hey, this thing broke. No, I'm gonna build you a quality stuff, because this is the quality we're in, right? That's what people desire for out here, especially in our scene.
Well, I think you even said you're looking at maybe doing like a fleet side.
Yeah.
So I always see them, they're always steppers.
And they're always steppers, and I want to make a match, right? So you have a fleet side bed, yeah, we can get a fleet side body. Then it's like, oh, what's cool is we have that same template and that same scan for the offenders on the step side. Let's do dualies or something. So the possibilities are endless, man. I mean, like I said, I love tech and the stuff that you can do on a computer and change stuff. And now all these those lathes, or what do they call them? Like the mills, or the 3D, the 4-axis scanner. Yeah, and the stuff you can cut out of foam now and get these bucks made for it's crazy what's available.
So right now you're not making the bodies yet, but you 3D scan them and you're
in process.
Ready,
in process. I'm trying to have something by the first of the year.
And then what do you think, like just a body? What's something like that run?
You know what? The bodies, from what I've been quoted, like they're gonna be around like $800. I mean, that's just with some minimal ordering and stuff. I mean, and I got to make some money off of it. So I really don't know. I mean, that's another thing. You know, it's another business here. I like doing business. I enjoy running company for framing. And that's also, you know, that's what I was born into. Of course, I have interest, but there's also other stuff that I would like to do. This is living legacy, right? What can I leave behind? I want to leave something back for people. Oh, I know I'm here for a reason. So it's like maybe I'm the cart guy.
Yeah, not just to pay taxes and live for 80
That's
years.
it, dude. No one
it's the
wants
same
to do
thing.
that, dude.
I do. You nailed it too, because we love it when we see a kid running through the show with his cart.
Yeah.
The kids love it, right? And so the cart cartel is.
I love it, dude. That's
fun one.
you see the stuff. You see all those new signs people keep taking, and then what is it? Something goofy like it's not goofy. It's cool, but it's behave yourself basically, because there's a kid over here that wants to be you one day.
Yeah.
So set the example. No, I see it. It's for sure, man. The next generation of us kids are that's what we do.
Well, and it's before we know it. The next thing you know, your kid's 18, and you're like, holy shit, this kid. You know,
That's
I remember
it, man.
when he
It
was
goes too
freaking 6 years
fast,
old and driving around the show you know, and then we're all big kids, just like Jeremy.
Yeah, like I said, just in this scene, like you've seen Eddie, little Eddie.
Oh yeah,
Pro Performance Eddie
oh,
now.
Dude, totally. Like he was a little kid
Yeah,
first time in.
and now look at him.
Eddie.
He's a big man now, dude, doing big man stuff. So it's cool, man. Like I said, my life is definitely a different outlook on stuff, and it's just the cart stuff is cool. I'm into the grinder stuff. I'm into the golf stuff or these rad dad stuff that we're doing. Dude, I'm all over the place. I like to stay busy. You know, whatever I can do with my family, my wife, my kids, my friends. You know, it's just all experiences. Like I said, live life, man. That's the best thing.
So what's next? I think you've got the mom burb. You still got that going?
Oh,
yeah. So that might be the next chapter. But
let me tell you something. This bourbon's coming out.
Okay.
Big.
Square dash burb.
Square dash 92, first year of the bourbon. It's my grandpa's truck now. Tribute to old Tata, right?
So Tata had it?
He bought it brand new, dude. Bought it brand new Lou Grubb Chevrolet in La Puente, California.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. It's in 300 some miles on that tire, 350 in there, dude. So 350,000 something. So, dude, it's up there. But yeah, that thing's gonna come out. It's going to come out. I want to lay that thing out. Big wheels.
Now, was it a 4-wheel drive or is it just like 3/4 ton?
It's just a 3/4 ton. It sits high. It's a 3/4 ton, not 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive. It's still got the 8-lug wheels on it. It's just, it's just going to be something cool to do. I've always loved that truck, you know, and it's something that he,
I'm trying to think of the name. Is it just Poised Burb or what do you have?
No, I don't know. I don't think I have a page for it yet. Do I?
Well, I don't know if you had a name. I know you've said it.
We kind of be calling it like the blurbin.
Okay, the blurbin.
Yeah,
and you're gonna figure out the whole thing, like the whole build.
Yeah, no, I had some renderings done. I'll send it to you. You can check it out. I'll post it again on my page. No, we're gonna kind of try and match it, tie in the same interior on my truck. I want it to be a hauler. I want it to be I could take my wife and kids to LST in a cool slam truck, pulling a cool slam truck. You know what I mean?
Pulling a cart.
Pulling cart
cartel.
How about this? The Suburban. Then the 76 on a trailer with the cart in the back of the bed of the 76. Dude, that's goals right there.
Yeah, and I think those carts would fit almost just perfect in the back of a stepper like that. Like meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe you even do it like, you know, like
at an angle, yeah.
So I know it's an audio podcast, but it's kind of imagine it doing a wheelie, right? So the little matching cartel will be in the back doing a wheelie with the Poised Hipster on the trailer with the Blurbin pulling. Nice new LS in there, freaking nice.
I can close my eyes and envision it.
Yeah, yeah. You do have that photographic memory.
I do. I told you.
It's already happening. I can see myself in that little canyon where we take pictures as we're coming through. Yeah. And there it is, spot, the backdrop. All right.
We got lots of memories to make still.
Okay, I got to run. So yeah, they're calling me right now. I've got an eye doctor appointment.
I kept you too long.
No, they're blowing. They're like, hey, what are you doing? Okay, so we can follow you. We've got at Poised Hipster, at PP Moonbeam, at Cart with the K Cartel,
Cartel KK,
and then that's it.
Grinder TV. You got to follow Grinder TV.
So yeah, if you see Mike and you're like, well, this isn't Grinder. Who's this guy? Then now you know.
I'm just his minion going out getting content, carrying all the weight on my back of Grinder TV.
Yeah. Where's Grinder? Hashtag Where's Grinder? That probably is one of my favorite hashtags.
Oh, it is a good one. It is a good one, dude. He's the master editor. I can't edit. This is why the Rad Dad's golf stuff takes so long. I can't edit. So you got to follow Grinder, follow the pages. You know,
Cancer Survivor.
Be
the match.
That's the biggest thing. If I can get you guys to do anything, it's do that little mouth swab. That's all it takes.
Yeah. We need to maybe do a little rally.
Oh, we should, dude. We should get them out there for
something like that, because they'll come out and maybe the get down. I mean, that would be a perfect time.
Yeah.
You and I don't want to take it all on. We'll work on that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because if I remember right, they come out
share the load,
like
man.
a trailer, and then they come out and you just get so many people, and we could do that'd be kind of cool if we got about how many people are at the get down or these truck events, and we can get or even like if they in Cali, or
that's the statistics right there. You're guaranteed
get some people, somebody in there
save
will
a
do
life,
it. So,
man.
Okay, brother. Well, I'm honored to have you here in studio.
I appreciate it, man. This was a very cool experience, checking out the whole compound here.
Probably have him back on some OBS talk for that bourbon.
Ooh, let's do it.
Okay. This is it, guys. The one and only Mr. Mike Moonbeam, Mike the Mullet Mike. We've got, he's got that thing flowing. He is a little bit of a spirit child, and we're honored to have people like you, not only in the studio, but really in our scene, because you kind of look at like, hey, do you give or take? When you look at our scene, and you're definitely a giver, somebody who's giving back to the community. And I think the final note is really just like you said, when you can pass that on to somebody else who's coming up and make them feel great about what they're doing in our community and our culture. We're lucky to have people like you in it, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Peace. Crazy story, right? Dude has been through hell and back. Amazing journey, and love the message, the story that he shared with us. And you guys share that with somebody, let somebody else know about this podcast, put it out to the world, and let them hear Mike's journey. Somebody who's going through a tough time, they might be inspired and motivated by Mike's story. You can get online, again, that's Mike Moonbeam, MikeMoonbeam.com. So that's his blog of going through his treatment, the family, and he kind of alluded to it a little bit in the pod, but that overall of what he was kind of going through, and was able to kind of capture some of that. MikeMoonbeam.com. Give him a follow on the socials, on the Instagram there. That's Poised Hipster and PP Moonbeam. And then you've got the Cart Cartel with 2 Ks. Cart Cartel. He's got a few different ones going on there. Ashley, your husband is an absolute rock star. Reese Riker, your dad, a warrior. What a stud. What a journey. Love the vibe he puts off, the message that he's sending. We are honored to be able to share his story. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great week.